If you think you're safe in your own home, think again. Posted by Call Me Ace here to the Chills Narrator subreddit. The Redditor explains, this is a video of a random guy walking up to my brother's home in Houston, Texas. The stranger flashed their flashlight through my brother's front door window and camera. The video shows a man possibly casing the place. If that is what he's doing, he isn't taking many precautions, as he's not wearing a mask of any kind to hide his identity, nor does he take any notice at first of the security camera that's caught him red-handed. If he was trying to fly under the radar, he's doing a terrible job at it. Not only does he flash a flashlight directly into the potential target's home, but he looks squarely into the security camera, capturing his headshot straight on, right before shining the flashlight into the camera's face too. Redditor Stark Burrito asks, was he pointing the flashlight into the camera to obscure himself? Bit late, buddy. Other Redditors recommended that the homeowner alert other neighbors to the incident, as well as the neighborhood watch and local authorities. It might prevent the unknown person from taking this further. While you may not have to worry about those you know entering into your home, you should definitely worry about randos. Are you alone in the dark? Posted to the Chills Narrator subreddit by Citizen ZTV. This brave cameraman invites whatever lurks in the darkness to come and say hi. Be careful what you wish for. While wandering through the cemetery, this paranormal device picks up not only noises or greetings, but a figure that appears as though it's stalking him.
You can come and say hi. You just gotta go for a wander.
The figure looks like it's walking slowly for a moment, then it disappears. Is this just a glitch, or was there something walking alongside this explorer in the darkness? Matt Bell accidentally manages to catch his neighbor's house on video as it goes up in flames. Watch about a minute in as a flaming piece of debris flutters across the street and lands in his hedges with a solid thud. Soon his front yard is ablaze, and now Matt's house looks like it is about to go up next. It looks pretty bad for a while, until his neighbors run over with some garden hoses and work on putting out the flames. Meanwhile, all Matt can do is watch on his phone with terror as he rushes home.
Please put that out for me, please. I'm on my way home.
Your house on fire!
Yeah, I know. I'm on my way.
The authorities are ultimately able to contain the blaze and keep it from spreading to other residences. This video just goes to show how easily the fire could have spread. If that flaming chunk had landed on Matt's roof instead of the hedges, there would have been little that his neighbors could have done. 3 photos and videos were shared on Facebook in Indonesia, showcasing the same strange phenomenon in the sky, posted by Mr. Potek in November of 2019, with a video credited to Setiawan. The unidentified object was filmed in Aceh, backlit by a bright moon. This mysterious flying or floating object appears to just hang there at the side of the moon. The object isn't shaped like a flying saucer, but its origins are equally as mysterious, viewed at several different angles. I don't come any closer to recognizing what this object is. The local police were reportedly terrified by its appearance. Should they be? What do you think it is? While visiting a friend at a high school, these girls spotted strange flickering light inside, writing that it was flashing in a pattern. Posted by Babitz Manda to the Ghosts subreddit. The Redditor notes that this is the boys and the girls' locker rooms. Only the boys was acting up earlier, and now they're both flickering. Some suggest it's a rave, others think it may just be faulty wiring, or the fire alarm being tested, but MTN-Do891 finds something else particularly unsettling. He writes, why do the locker rooms have windows so large and close to the ground? That's what I find creepy. That's a good point, so maybe their story is not what's actually going on here. Nevertheless, this either had to be a major electrical malfunction, or else the work of something paranormal. I just wish there was more video evidence so we could decide for sure. Bree Calderon gets an alert from his home security system. The motion sensor camera has caught some weird things on tape over his table. Meanwhile, a small light is by the door that he can't explain. According to Bree, the ghost is moving towards an urn off camera that contains the cremated remains of his grandmother. That would be terrifying, but there's no way to tell if any part of this story is actually true. With that said, the strange mist might actually be some small picture distortion, but this visual glitch wouldn't be enough to set off the motion detector. Basically, I can't fully explain this video, so this might actually be paranormal. While exploring Liverpool's most haunted hotel, the Adelphi, Jess and Ellie get the feeling they're not alone. Many have seen and heard strange things inside the haunted hotel, which was built in 1826 before being replaced in 1911. Wealthy passengers would stay here before embarking on their cruise liner journey to North America. Many famous people from Sinatra to Bob Dylan to Roosevelt and Churchill have also been guests. But it's the passed on that call this place home. Published in January of 2022, Jess and Ellie wander through the historic hotel with its ballroom and haunted hallways. They check themselves into the purportedly haunted room 179. When they break out the spirit box, they realize the ghosts here are quite aggressive.
That just said you.
Then they ask if the spirit wants them to leave or stay, and they're given a clear answer.
Do you want us to stay? Jess is the same voice. It is. I'm getting...
The ladies did end up leaving that night. I'd be too freaked out to stay in the Adelphi a minute longer either. Well, driverless cars are a thing. I don't think this is one of them. Published in April of 2013, a mysterious vehicle is going berserk as it pulls up to the toll booth. The car's lights are flashing on and off as it drives forward. The toll booth operator holds out his hand, apparently not paying attention at first, but then he sees the most astonishing thing. There's no one in the driver's seat. The toll booth man stands up from his chair, leaning out toward the car in shock. You can see the steering wheel spin round, moving back and forth. There's no one in the seat, nor in the passenger seat, nor the back seat. The toll booth man exits his booth and stands in front of the vehicle looking in. That's when this creepy being climbs up the rear window. Dark hair, pale as a ghost, definite The Ring Girl vibes. The mysterious figure causes the toll booth man to fall on the ground in fear. He quickly rushes off screen, and that thing on the rear window keeps on climbing toward the roof before sinking again out of sight. Is this video real? If so, I don't think things ended well for this toll booth worker. An urban exploration channel called Urbex with Taffy goes investigating an underground bunker when they start to feel incredibly watched for no reason at all. They pause at the entrance to a dark room and, night vision rolling, call out to any haunting the tunnels with them.
Okay, alright, so, is there anyone in here with us? Would you make a sound? Just make a noise?
In the doorway is a shadow person who is not Taffy nor his friend, Carl. As you can see both of their shadows. It's weird that a third shadow appears as soon as they ask for a sign, but this wouldn't be too hard to fake with a third person's help. The question is whether or not it was really the two of them down there in the creepy haunted tunnel, and that's something only Carl and Taffy will know for sure. A YouTuber named Leo Tran is challenged to throw a plastic bottle cap into a trash bag from across the room. At 1 minute into the video, you can see something is out of the ordinary, but at 1 minute and 23 seconds, you can see a small face pop up in the window. The small face stays in the window for approximately 33 seconds and ducks out of the way when Leo goes to collect the trash bag. Does this look real or edited to you? Pete Privy is perfectly piloting a drone in the parking lot, at least until the time comes to land. His friend is demonstrating how to grab one out of midair, but he turns around while talking, and a propeller socks him right in the eye. At 10 seconds in, you can see his friend grab his face and then stumble away in surprise. Someone hurries closely behind, ready to catch him if he passes out from the blow, and the video ends. This picture shows how closely Pete's friend came to losing an eye. I think a hit any higher would have cost him his sight. As Pete says, the moral of the story is that caution is always required around drones, so never let your guard down unless you want to look like this. A mother is mourning the loss of her child when a single white balloon floats over to her from his casket. Relief washes over her as she soon realizes this is almost definitely a sign of reassurance from her lost loved one. Look again and you'll see not only did this balloon start from her child's casket, it was also in front of a picture of him as well. It really is as if he is sending her a balloon to cheer her up and let her know that he still cares for her from the other side, perhaps even as a final gesture to help her let go. This ghost sighting will send chills down your spine. Published to YouTube by TechWorld TV in August of 2014, this video shows a haunted Hindu cremation site. A man arrives at this site in India to investigate a local story. According to the man, he was walking down this dirt road when he saw an entity at this place. The investigator explains that passed away individuals are taken there for their last rites. Nobody lives here, apart from packs of stray dogs. As the man navigates around the puddles on the wet road to approach the ceremonial sites, dogs start barking like crazy at a distance.
In this place.
Then the man shouts that he just saw an entity floating from the building further back. Upon closer inspection of the video, you can see the white vapor the man is talking about. It appears in the darkness under the veranda before floating up and then vanishing. While some point out the vapor moves simultaneously with the camera. One Redditor, Ricky Jaikaran, notes, "I would have said it was a smudge on the camera if the dogs hadn't started to bark at the same time. What do you think? Coincidence or a spirit ascending?" Filmed near Shady Lake at Arkansas's Washita National Forest. This family was camping in a secluded campground when they encountered a creature that some think is a myth. Published by Jim Harrison in September of 2012. The camera is panning across the darkness when a large hairy figure moves into view not far off. Needless to say, the cameraman turns tail to flee, and I'm guessing he made it out alive, with this wicked footage to show for it. While you may not be a believer, many in the comments of this video are. A number of them even share their own encounters with Sasquatch. It's every thrill seeker's worst nightmare. Published by Robbie8984 in January of 2012, this pair was strapped into an amusement park ride in Alton, Illinois, ready for the thrill of their lives when the belt snapped on one of their seats. As the ride takes off, the woman starts to panic when she sees her harness come unstrapped. Luckily, the harness doesn't seem to be necessary as the primary lock keeps her securely in place. Many in the comments say these belts are just fail-safe to give riders a sense of security. Either way, imagine seeing your sense of security come undone in the middle of being tossed through the air by a roller coaster. Do you want to play a game? Posted to the Ghosts subreddit by ResponsibleAd8836. This guard in Mexico often hears noises at night while on watch. He recorded this one while on patrol. While walking the grounds at night, he heads around the building when what looks like a man's head pops out from around the corner. The guard chases it around the corner, but there's nothing there.
Escucho a alguien. Su puta madre, su puta madre, su puta madre, puta madre.
The Redditor also posted a frame-by-frame video to better see the figure. Many in the comments are clearly surprised. Some point out there are no feet, while others suggest it's a gray extraterrestrial. Still, others say it looks like it's playing a game. Do you want to play? I suggest that guard heads back in the other direction. When police officers stopped to assist a car that had broken down on the side of Southeast Loop 820 in Forest Hill, Texas, they probably weren't thinking this was a super risky call, but they'd be wrong, as the 3 police officers and 2 motorists awaited a tow truck, lights flashing. A vehicle sped at top speed towards them, completely out of control, and they nearly didn't notice until it was too late. You can see in the video that the group is oblivious to what is about to happen until one officer spots the vehicle flying in their direction, just in time to throw the group out of harm's way. The car sideswiped one police car, slammed head-on into another, and barely avoided the broken down vehicle and all the people milling around on the shoulder. After plowing through, the rogue vehicle ricocheted back into traffic, but then returned to the roadside, where it screeched to a halt. When the car stopped, police hurried to remove the driver. Unsurprisingly, 26-year-old motorist Cedric Keith Henson Jr. had been drinking and was detained at the scene. Although no one was hurt, they very well could have been. Who's there? Redditor Sal26 Serrano says remodeling was being done in this vacant apartment complex of 4, and the owner of the property was downstairs with him at the time. So who is making this noise? Did you hear it? There's definitely someone there, but whether they're supposed to be there or not is the next question. My guess would be this place has squatters. In mythology, jinn are beings that appear in human form and are of a spirit level lower than angels. They have been known to possess humans. It appears one is possessing this boy in this video. An attempt to exorcise the demon is being made. As the man chants, the boy sits in a chair beside him, completely out of it. The boy shakes his head, making demonic voices, while the man continues to chant. He starts to rock with the music, his body shaking more and more. The man eventually puts a hand on his head, and the song stops. The boy is gasping for breath. They spray him in the face with a spray bottle of some liquid, perhaps holy water. The man later continues in his chant, patting the boy and moving him around variously. The boy becomes still and quiet for a while. Not long after, you can hear screaming from the other side of the room. Finally, you can see where it's coming from. Another woman, also appearing possessed. Was this boy at last exorcised of the jinn, or did it simply just make its way into this other woman's body? When you go onto abandoned property, don't expect to be the only one there. Published to YouTube by Double Bins in January of 2008, this video will dissuade you from ever entering an abandoned home. The clip shows some adventurers exploring an empty home, or one that they think is empty anyway. The 2-story White House appears to be in the middle of the countryside. As the boys approach it, its big empty windows are like empty eye sockets, giving the house an even more sinister vibe. They enter the house, which doesn't even have a door. It's wide open to whomever dares come inside. The place is an absolute nightmare. It looks as though something tore through the house and destroyed everything in its wake. The oven door is in the middle of the living room. As the boys walk through, the one filming scans the roof, which has a window open to the second floor. That's when they see they're not alone. A figure passes by in plain view overhead.
The roof is off. Weapons.
Dude, oh my...
Needless to say, the boy who captures it on film immediately flips out, and they both race out of the house and across the field. Whether ghost or human, this is definitely something worth fleeing from. A strange cloud phenomenon in the sky coincided with the appearance of a mysterious lake creature in China. published by Real UFO in May of 2017. CCTV captured both, which were reported in this news clip. The cloud shape looks almost like a hand reaching to grip something. Then again, clouds can often look strange without it meaning something paranormal is going on, but this lake creature is hard to explain away. It disturbs the water's surface at length, appearing to be a long eel or a sea monster. What is this enormous creature? And does its appearance have anything to do with the sky phenomenon? Or is it simultaneously simply a coincidence? Seems suspect to me. A YouTuber named Roy Flores has a strange encounter over the skies of New Jersey when he sees a mysterious aircraft hovering near the overpass he's driving on.
Look, the whole street is stopped. There's a flying spaceship.
And he's not the only one who sees it. Dozens of other cars have pulled over and people are getting out to take video of this strange phenomenon with their cameras, each wondering if this is the moment we finally made contact. A Goodyear blimp is the official explanation for this scary event, but I have serious doubts. I mean, you'd think all these people would know the difference between a blimp, which we've all seen, and something truly bizarre instead. A lot of people are saying this is a cover story for this strange sighting in the sky. Well, I think this design looks way too creepy to be some kind of company blimp. When Reactor 4 burst at Chernobyl in 1986, a 10-kilometer exclusion zone was formed and thereafter was increased to 30 kilometers. The initial steam blast resulted in 2 passed away, while a further 28 passed within months of exposure. These numbers do not even touch upon the total passing toll caused by radiation, and they also don't touch upon the mutations in humans or animals in the area, which brings us to this footage published in March of 2014. The uploader states that the video is filmed at Chernobyl power plant. A close-up of an animal in the area appears to show a headless form on 4 legs running across the railroad tracks. It almost looks like a headless deer. Some in the comments say that it looks like a large deer with the face of a rabbit, or a moose with a twisted neck, and still others say the creature appears as though its neck is deformed and bending towards the opposite side. Mutant or not, kinda makes you wonder what other nightmare creatures are lurking in the area. This video of a Mississippi swamp creature is hard to see, but the payoff is worth it. Watch the circled area and tell me if you see movement or not.
Mom.
Baby!
Now here's the same area zoomed in. You can see something is behind the tree, a creature whose oversized arms extend down to the swamp. It straightens its back as it sees the camera and looks to the camera. It's hard to say if this really is a swamp creature, or just shadows cast from the leaves above. This is allegedly the swamp creature's face. If it was just a bit closer, we'd have enough detail to make a final decision. That looks like it could be the face of a creature, or just some tree bark to me. Humans aren't the only beings with the apparent ability to teleport, published by The Buzz in January of 2015. This mysterious video appears to show a canine teleportation. The video, filmed during a street race on an empty motorway in Chile, shows a dog suddenly materializing out of nowhere. In the clip, 2 cars speed down the track. As the camera swings after them, following the race, a dog suddenly appears in their wake, crossing the road. In slow motion, the dog appears out of thin air in the middle of the road, somehow avoiding the 2 cars, neither of which budge at all in their straight shot down the track. Did this dog teleport here, as many in the comments seem to believe? Whether or not he did, I think Pog Squatch sums up our sentiment. Scotty needs to be more careful when he beams you down. That was too close for comfort. Time to break out the sage again. Posted to TikTok by Ratliff Wife, this Ring security footage was captured at around 9:30 p.m. in March of 2022. The video shows the front porch of a home. After a moment, a dark shadow moves across the camera. The shadow reappears several times over the course of a minute. Several bugs appear in the clip, but they are clear. Nothing looks like this shadow. The uploader says their dog was also growling in the room at the time this video was captured. Did it sense something? Some in the comments think so, with Carolyn Mulhall writing, "Pets know, better start praying." And it's true that many people swear that pets seem to have an easier time seeing the paranormal than humans. A YouTuber named RevoX encounters a wild pheasant in the graveyard that is not at all afraid. The colorful bird looks over its shoulder to make sure he is watching, and then takes the lead, guiding him someplace quite important that I'll reveal in just a moment. It hops off the road, and at 1 minute and 8 seconds, walks this little beaten trail of matted grass.
Have you ever seen anything like it before?
That's been trampled over many times before. The determined little bird stops and circles back to the human, again showing absolutely no signs of fear. It even looks straight at him, at the end like it knows what is being said.
There's my mum's grave, and it will remain, as it has done for the past few days, going round and round it.
So is this a real spirit guide or just a pet? Some Native Americans believed pheasants to be a sign of protection and concealment because they like to bury themselves in tall grass. A creepy behavior when taken within the context of a graveyard. They can be tamed, but even if this is a pet, I don't think you can teach it to lead you somewhere for over a minute, and I never see it get a food treat as a reward or anything, so I think it's real. The David Livingstone Centre is a reportedly haunted museum in Glasgow, Scotland. As these paranormal investigators are about to discover for themselves, they aren't even finished setting up their equipment when the poltergeist activity begins. First, something falls in the darkness, and then a piece of equipment flips over in front of them.
Oh.
They go to where the other object fell over and find one of the velvet ropes has come unhooked by itself. Since we didn't see it happen on video though, I guess we just have to take their word. Later, they head over to the chapel area where they think they see something move, but it's too dark to tell.
As if it's a person? Yeah. Straight behind you.
When they take a picture of the corner of the chapel, however, this image of a shadow person is what they find. A YouTube channel called 3/Amir AMR searches for what his video title roughly translates into English as the most dangerous magician. Though its glowing eyes make it look less human and more like a jinn, the Arabic word for demons and spirits. The way the eyes come into focus at 1 minute and 4 seconds looks pretty good, but I think it might be special effects because the overall resolution seems to briefly drop. White and red eyes look at him from outside of a window, and there's a really good look at them here at 2 minutes and 15 seconds. But these eyes look like they could be any of the city lights shown here when he goes outside. He does see the djinn standing outside of a window, eyes glowing white as ever. It disappears, then he sees either the same creature or possibly another one in the building directly behind him. Now feeling surrounded, he turns and flees this entire area, but not before catching glowing eyes looking at him from the window within. This demolition house of horror has these urban explorers walking on eggshells. Published to YouTube by Urban Ghosts Urban Exploration in May of 2021. Joe and Chris work their way through a pair of houses being torn down for demolition. Joe says they were contacted by the workers who were cleaning the houses out and were told they felt a presence here. And you'll definitely feel it too as you watch the video. Whatever is in these houses is making its presence known through whispers. As the explorers wander into the bathroom, you can hear incoherent whispering. A moment later, a man's voice says yeah, when asked if the spirits in the house will talk to them.
Will you talk to us if there's spirits here?
Later, more whispering is heard.
May give us some clues.
And later again. indiscernible what the voice or voices are saying. What is distinctly heard, however, is a growl that happens when Joe is positioning the camera down a staircase. What do you think is hanging around these demolition houses, and what will they do when their homes are destroyed? Grandma, is that you? Published to YouTube by Mordecai's Captured Moments in April of 2021. Mordecai writes, "One night years ago, the chair on my friend's porch was rocking on its own. The video shows an old wooden rocking chair standing outside a pair of wooden framed glass doors. The chair begins rocking in an unusual fashion, not like it's been disturbed by a breeze or knocked by something, but as though someone is sitting in it, rocking and halting according to whim." Apparently, this isn't the only scary incident that occurred in Mordecai's friend's house. She responds to a YouTuber that her house was so deeply scary that she never let anyone know how scared she really was. Thankfully, she moved 2,000 miles away from this haunted place. All she can hope for is whoever is rocking that chair didn't follow. Lethal Gamers is a YouTube channel full of cool gaming videos, but one in particular is unlike all of the others, and not in a good way.
Look at this. There's a baby face clear as day in the window.
I don't know if it's the face of a baby or not, but I can see the eyes, nose, mouth, chin, neck, hair, and ear. It looks to be wailing in anguish. Lethal Gamers says that his floor is up way too high for someone to press their face against the glass. Beyond the reflection of his room is nothing but night sky.
Look, this is my kitchen window. Well, the crazy part is when I first looked at this, when I first saw the face, it looked like it was looking straight out, and now it looks like it's turned.
And get this, he also says that this face was looking the other way minutes ago, and 20 minutes after this video was taken, it was supposedly gone, but without the video proof, we'll never be able to explain if this was real or fake. Ghost hunting YouTube channel in Russia called Dark Ghost Paranormal says they've caught real video evidence of poltergeist activity on camera while exploring an abandoned house that's haunted. After leaving cameras upstairs to record video evidence, Dark Ghost Paranormal goes exploring in the basement to investigate for any poltergeist activity. The entrance to the basement has been boarded up like somebody really didn't want anyone to get in, or maybe they were trying to prevent something from getting out, something paranormal. He gets a creepy feeling down here. The basement looks completely demolished, stuff thrown everywhere, and so he goes back upstairs. Exploring the haunted basement must have set something free, because it isn't long before the poltergeist is coming to investigate these ghost hunters. Something scary happens behind him. The voice of a little ghost girl comes from a dresser, one that just so happens to be a child's height and is no doubt possessed by the ghost of one. The ghost hunter examines the area for a little bit, and just when he's about to wrap up the paranormal investigation, the scary poltergeist activity picks up again. This angle gives us a better look at how close the dresser is to the wall, way too close for someone to have been hiding behind it. The heavy object is moving by itself, or from a ghost to be more precise, and so he leaves the abandoned house to further rot. In wandering around this abandoned building, strange apparitions appear everywhere. Published by Clip Hantu, this scary video is like the Where's Waldo of creepy figures. See if you can spot them all. Notice this thing on the ledge wasn't there a moment before. It looks like a head of hair or a wig. In the next room, you see a dark figure in the corner. As the camera swings back, it's disappeared. And with the flashlight turned on, you can see the room is completely empty. In a kitchen area, there's a pot on the counter at first. Now, there seems to be a split in the clip, but the next time we see the same counter, the creepy object has replaced it. That thing looks like a shrunken head. Have these items been placed? Or is this the world's worst treasure hunt? The first and third items do look to me like they were placed. There is a cut in the video in each of these instances, but that shadow figure, that's harder to explain. Makes me think this place is truly haunted after all. The Jagged Things crew visited a haunted hotel in this paranormal investigation. A few things happened while exploring the home that they didn't notice until watching the video back. The first occurs behind Linda. Watch closely. Did you see that? It looks like something passes behind her. Here it is, more slowly. To me, it looks like it could just be the backlighting from the window distorted by Linda's position in front of the doorway and the movement of the camera. But this isn't the only spooky thing to occur. Watch the door at the end of the hall. And here's a close-up. Although it's more interesting to think this was paranormal, I have to admit it could also be a draft. Still, both are great captures. What do you think is going on here? YouTuber Memoria Sobrenatural INC believes they were guided to this location by something paranormal, and maybe that's true, but it doesn't seem to want to let him in.
Opa! Cara, que é isso, mano? Cara, que é isso?
At first, it seems like something might just be pushed up against the door blocking it, but then you see movement. Watch the crack in the doorway.
Olha isso, cara. Dá uma olhada.
Whatever's inside doesn't seem human.
Cara, você é louco? Eu juro que eu achei que eu tinha visto o demônio aqui agora, na hora que eu fui abrir a porta. Cara, meu coração foi a mil aqui, ó. Bom, pessoal, eu acho...
Phew, it's just a bull. Or is it? I think this horned beast is more demon than it appears. East Riddlesden Hall in West Yorkshire, England, is considered one of Britain's most haunted houses. While at the hall, YouTuber Roman Joe took a video of the old barn to send to her partner. When she watched it back, she noticed something strange. Let's take a look. Did you see it? Watch the window to the left of the carriage. Something seems to block the light for a moment. The YouTuber believes it's a spirit passing by the window. If it's true that no one was on site, to me the only thing that could explain this is if that window had a shutter that just so happened to move with the wind at the same moment that the camera pans past. Otherwise, this is for sure the Grey Lady, and I think they should get out of there immediately. There's something in this house, and they might be demons.
Hey! أعوذ بالله أعوذ بالله.
The first one he captures on camera is pretty obvious, but he doesn't seem to see it. The second one is playing peekaboo.
Bismillah. Bismillah. Bismillah.
Hey!
And the last one...
أعوذ بالله.
Do you hear that roar? Well, I'm wondering what these creatures are. Most in the comments are chuffed at this dude's terrified scream. My vote is for demons, but it could be some other type of evil entity. Any ideas? This orphanage turned satanic church holds a lot of secrets. The team was lured to the place after seeing a shadow figure in footage captured by urban explorers in the building. Watch the dark passage.
You saw a shadow figure in that video, and you sent it over to me, and I was like, no doubt that that's a shadow figure. So we definitely know that shadow figures are here roaming about. But also, another thing is...
Now it's Ghost Club Paranormal's turn to find the truth. Upon entering the haunted cult house, they discover some disturbing imagery.
Like, literally, I've not...
Be careful, don't be around that thing that's from people shooting working claw.
Oh.
When they pull out their EMF meter, they get a jumpy reading.
We are getting... I literally... Okay, I mean, for a building with absolutely zero electricity, that makes no sense. If there's anybody...
They also capture an EVP.
Yes.
Later, their REM pod is triggered.
Kidding me?
And shortly after, what sounds like footsteps are heard.
Hey, Cam.
Something that's up.
I just heard footsteps right behind me.
Then, they get a clear answer from the spirits.
We need to make clear contact with you right now if you're here with us. If you want to communicate with us, that's what we need. Oh my god, it's going off, it's going off. Shine your light up there.
And it's not long before they see them too. Watch the shadows in the hallway beyond.
Totally fine talking to us as well.
Do you see the shape-shifting shadow whip through? I sure did. After that, the crew is given the fright of their lives.
Just in case something does happen. Wow. Okay.
I am definitely feeling the terrifying energy in this house, but whether it's the young ghost congregants or Satan himself is anyone's guess. These guys are trying to communicate with a spirit at their clinic office, specifically Jen. To determine who they're talking to, they use flashlights.
We're gonna say... Oh, I think it's cool with that. We're gonna say the alphabet, and whichever one your name is, can you please turn off the flashlight on that letter, okay?
When they arrive at J,
H, I, J,
Jen.
Yeah, it's Jen, I think, or something. Jen. It has.
But another flashlight is directed by a second spirit.
Another one, right? That's a different spirit. Okay. K, L, M, N.
And
Nathaniel. Well.
Okay.
They're trying to figure out which of the spirits wrote the note or were somehow connected to it.
If you're not connected to it, turn off your flashlight. Nathaniel's not connected to it. So Jen is.
And finally, they asked Jen,
Jen, were you the one that wrote the note? Oh. Wait, but she's connected to it, so she didn't
You know
write.
who wrote the note? Were you here when they wrote the note?
although the Redditor doesn't explain in the comments what note he's asking the spirits about. According to him, Nathaniel once scratched him. I'm really not sure if he should be keeping the lines of communication open with an entity this aggressive. Imagine waking up one morning and finding this thing lurking in one of the most intimate areas of your home. That's the reaction of a YouTuber named Stefanie Van Tinnen and her mother upon finding a huge rat in their toilet. They start talking about how to get rid of the giant rodent and finally come up with a plan. When coaching it to jump into the bag doesn't work, Stefanie grabs a glove and a towel, and with the help of her mother, finally gets it inside of the bag. Her mother runs outside of the house and puts the rat in the front lawn. My question is, do you think you would have had the courage to grab a possibly diseased rat straight from a sewer like they did, or would you have called Animal Control Services? To be honest, I probably would have contacted Animal Control Services. A man records his pet cat studying its reflection in a mirror for the very first time. The animal is fascinated, and over again, it tests the reflection by cautiously putting one paw in front of the other, almost as if it doesn't completely trust what it is seeing. Now satisfied that this mirror image is no threat, the cat settles down and looks behind for one moment, but as it turns out, its initial instincts were right all along. If you didn't catch it, the cat's reflection does not match the cat's own movements. So what do you think? Was this special effects or a once-in-a-lifetime moment caught on video? I'm convinced that house is haunted, since it looks too realistic to be done by amateur video editing. The team from Casa Sobrenatural is visiting a house with a malignant demon in this scary clip. At first, they think they see something.
É muito assustador, velho.
Ah, mas as nossas casas, vocês escutaram?
Killer?
Por não, você não mexeu, não.
O quê? Quem que mexeu?
Você que mexeu, Sandro.
Mexeu o quê, Der?
Mexeu a cadeira, por não, seu Sandro. Você não viu, Sofinho? Eu vi, cara, eu escutei.
And then that something makes its presence known.
Eu sei não mexeu, Melder, acho que você tava vendo alguma coisa aqui, eu vi. Meu Deus do céu! Filho da puta, cara, que é isso, cara?
When they dare to enter, things get more aggressive.
Meu Deus do céu, cara! Sai, sai, sai! Meu Deus do céu, tio! Então que bateu? Olha, tá lá! O desafado bateu, cara.
What is inside? They think it's over, but the demon has one last scare in store for them.
Hã? Pare com isso, cara. Me guarda aqui. Caralho, mexeu a cadeira de novo. Escutou? Escutou? Escutou que meu Deus do céu. Cara, arrastou essa cara. Vamos embora. Vamos embora, pelo amor de Deus. Pelo amor de Deus, vamos rezar. Cara do céu, velho.
In my opinion, there's something truly evil in this house. You can just feel it. A YouTuber named Yankee Reb travels to the haunted battlefield of Gettysburg, Virginia, and stands before an old battle cannon. He grows very still and records nothing but darkness for a full 20 minutes before any paranormal activity occurs. As the night progresses, a lone soldier silently marches around the cannon and stops just outside of the muzzle, which is where you would stand to reload it.
Holy down by the cannon, you see that?
Oh, what is that?
I say it could be a soldier because, aside from the historic location, I can also kind of make out the old style sash and hat that some soldiers used to wear.
No way. What is that?
I have no idea.
Did you get that on the camera?
It's recording.
Oh my gosh, did you see that?
His attire is most visible at around the 1 minute and 58 second mark, so that's when you can get the clearest and most direct look for yourself. Let me know if you can see what he has on.
Did you, honestly?
I wouldn't believe it unless we recorded it.
Maybe this soldier in particular was accidentally taken out by his own cannon while reloading, which used to happen quite often back those times. Something is haunting this house, or at least that's what David Stenberg thinks based on his dog's Astrid's odd reaction. Sometimes he's fine with going into this bedroom, and sometimes he acts more like this.
What is the matter? What is the deal?
Listen again. There's a really shrill scream that makes the dog recoil. I'm already convinced this could be a ghost, but this video is 100% real in my opinion. Based on what I'm about to show you next, I don't care how well you train your dog, there's no way to make him look up at you with a concerned expression and then get surprised. David tries to show Astrid that nothing is there by stepping inside, but Astrid is having none of it. I think his dog is telling him, in no uncertain terms, to get out of there now. Let me know if you agree.
Astrid, you're freaking me out. Come here. Come here.
Uday Hindi is exploring an old building when he comes across a little girl staring at him from the corner of the room. The door furthest away from both of them shuts all by itself before he gets a chance to investigate. Despite this, Uday Hindi bravely pushes into the next room and discovers she is not a girl, but rather a creepy life-size doll. He roughly handles the doll from room to room and throws it on the floor, and that's when the doll decides it's had enough. I saw no strings when the doll moved, did you? Anyway, he is busy analyzing some strange and possibly demonic markings on the doll when suddenly this happens. Watch and try and translate what he says shortly before it goes all wrong. This part I feel like could have been from the way the doll was leaning on the wall before it fell, but the incident before that I feel could be quite real. Who's hiding behind this mirror? This short clip posted by TikToker Sion Wick prompts that question. Watch it snap this Pokemon card up. The TikToker writes, "We're waiting for it to trade us back." In the comments, Reed Hart points out the black fingers at the mirror's edge at the beginning of the clip. Take another look. They look more like spider legs than fingers to me, but if that's the case, this guy's got a mad strong spider on his hands. YouTuber D-Dog Michael is back at it again, exploring this abandoned place, and he is not alone.
뭐야? 거기 누구세요? 누구세요, 거기?
After being scared to his wits' end, Michael enters another dark room and sees this. Did that hand just confront him? The mystery continues as he enters a room of mirrors.
뭔 소리야? 뭐야? 나 지금
After this terrifying encounter, he keeps on going.
누구 있어요, 혹시? 혹시 누구? 와! 잠깐, 본 사람, 방금 본 사람.
Someone is there for sure. And that someone is stalking him.
그만이요.
Michael hears both a girl and a man in this haunted place, but are they good or evil? I think that he'd better hedge his bets because he can't be sure. The YouTube team, Greg and Heather's exploration, know what fear is. They found it in the woods. As Heather is sitting near a campfire, she hears something unsettling nearby.
What the heck? What was that noise?
She goes to investigate.
Hello? Where is that coming from?
Nobody answers, so she continues on. As she hears the sound again, she finally encounters its maker.
There it goes again. Oh my... Hello?
What is this creature?
What are you doing out here? Oh my...
Whatever it is, it's soon coming for her. Will she escape him?
Where'd you go?
It's almost creepier when he disappears, while the YouTuber explains in the description that this video is, in fact, fiction. The horror is real, and I think their monster is particularly chilling. What happened at the Mount Morris Mystery House in Pennsylvania? The homeowners reached out to Spirit Walk Paranormal after a spirit claimed they'd find human remains on the property, and they did soon find something.
What looks to be a canvas style material that has deteriorated over time.
Is it a body? Yes, but it's not what you think.
And that still doesn't make any sense.
No.
It had some sharp teeth.
You think?
The mystery continues as they use dowsing rods to speak with the spirits.
Do you know that I'm recording you on video right now? Can you point him to Farrah's right? Is there someone else buried in the yard here?
Finally, they ask the spirit to point them in the right direction.
Where should we go? I just want to make a note that only the one rod has moved.
This is almost like a treasure hunt. X marks the spot.
Okay. If that's where Tyler just marked, make an X if that's where it needs to be.
Now it's time to start digging.
Yeah, I went to this because look.
Mm-hmm.
It's glass.
I hit roots.
They get nearer. Although they don't find the bodies they were looking for, they do find something else.
So we just found a hand grip from a revolver. Now it is made of plastic, so it suggests that it is newer.
Do you think it's relevant? Or are there more secrets on this property? A woman is practicing a presentation while her friend films, but they both become distracted by the poltergeist in the room. TikToker Real Scary Video shares this footage.
1, 2, 3, go. Okay na? Now that I have introduced myself to the patient, verify the client's... Now that I have introduced myself to the patient, explain the procedure.
First, the light flickers.
Verify the client's identity and provide...
Ano ito?
Sige na.
Then something disturbs the closet.
Now that I have introduced myself to the patient...
While we can't see what made the noise, I'm pretty sure whatever it was lost its patience. Talk about a non-supportive ghost.
Ano ito?
Sige pa dito, sige na. Ito. 1, 2, 3, go. Now that I have introduced myself to the patient,
Something is manifesting in this abandoned hospital. YouTuber Lalo Escalante captured this creepy entity on camera during a paranormal investigation. The spirit there does not want to let them in.
Asalto, pues. No mames, güey, yo me voy a la mierda de aquí, güey. No, yo me voy, güey. No, este servicio está más caro.
But it is there. See it lurking at the end of this hallway?
Hola.
When they enter the room, they find nothing, but the spirit continues to play.
So, I can listen to más.
And then they see it again.
¿Está aquí con nosotros? ¿Hola? La enfermera, güey. Ojo al vidrio. La enfermera, güey. Cerró la puerta.
But it always somehow evades them. The spirit again disappears.
Hey. Se está subiendo de acá. Bestia, güey. ¿Quién está ahí?
Only to make one last spooky cameo. What does this spirit want? To me, it's difficult to tell if this is even a spirit at all. It looks solid and moves like a human. Then again, it disappears in a way that's unbelievable. It could go either way for me. What do you think is going on here? YouTuber Hassan Barbar is used to encountering mysterious and paranormal anomalies. When he enters a room of this abandoned place, something is hiding beneath the covers.
شو يقولوا انه بني ادم ولا ايه؟ يقولوا انه بني ادم اخوان ولا ايش؟ طب اسمع، طب كيف اخذت الحرام من جوا؟ طب احكي معي، انت احكي.
The figure is rocking and moaning, and Hassan gets closer to investigate. As he approaches, he senses something else behind him.
بسم الله.
And still he gets closer. After finding the figure has disappeared, Hassan continues to investigate the rest of the home, and something starts to bark at him.
طب اظهر قلب قردة هي. طب انتوا كم واحد هون؟ كم؟
The thing continues to taunt him.
بسم الله. طب اظهر لي.
Then things grow even more active.
طب شو اسمك انت يا قرد؟ شو اسمك؟ ايه؟ اسمك؟
But as to what is making that noise, it never becomes clear. While a lot of this video is mysterious, this cut makes me skeptical. Clearly, there was a cut in the video there, so I assume whatever form was beneath the blanket could escape. Still, I really enjoy the disturbing atmosphere of this investigation. When you visit an abandoned hospital, you don't expect this to happen. Redditor Bored Guy Online posted this scary video evidence that he captured in the ICU. Keep an eye at the end of the hall to the right. Something mysterious is going on here. Being that all hospitals are likely haunted, maybe these doors aren't malfunctioning after all. If that's the case though, who is opening and closing this ICU door? He can see us, but we can't see him. I think it's time to leave this abandoned hospital and stay far away. You wouldn't want anything following you home now. What would you do if your daughter's imaginary friend was a demon? Originally posted by TikToker Leo Lords 15, this video was shared by YouTube channel blah blah and is now trending in the Arabic-speaking YouTube community. The TikToker explains that her daughter has been communicating with someone ever since they moved into this old house.
Hey, so we are just moving in. I'm literally, it's such a mess. I'm sorry, but my daughter has been talking to an imaginary friend.
After letting it run, this is what she found.
It feels so funny. What do you know story? Do you want to play?
While talking with her stuffed animals and or her imaginary friend, the closet door opens on its own. A strange growling noise is heard. The girl seems to hear it too and takes it as her cue to leave. Imaginary friends will always be creepy, but I'm not sold on the growling noises. It sounds like it's edited in. In fact, it sounds less like growling and more like someone drinking from a straw. What do you think? Is this girl's imaginary friend a demonic creature, or is this a sound effect? Submitted to the Chills Narrator subreddit by Master Allen73, this redditor wrote, "Me and my girlfriend are asleep at 3:55 a.m. when the door closes on its own. There is a door stopper holding it in place. I'm always very skeptical of the paranormal and other footage I have captured, but this one..." Let's watch their submission and see what they're talking about. There was certainly some debate about this video in the comments. ASAP Rab wrote, "I'm sure you've noticed, but just after 31 seconds, there's some kind of particle or orb going straight up near the bathroom entrance. Creepy footage." And the uploader replied saying, "Honestly, I had not noticed it. I'd been concentrating on the door looking for shadows." While TCG Games wrote, "How many days do you wake up and your door is closed? Was the heater or the air conditioner on? Has this happened in the past?" And the uploader replied saying no, this was the first time in 8 months. With or without the AC running, it's never closed on its own. Can you think of any other explanation for this footage? I think there's a good chance there's a ghost also in this bedroom. YouTube channel The Haunted Side Paranormal Investigations asks, would you keep going? But before you answer that, here's some context. In this short video, they were exploring Sutro Tunnel Ghost Town in Dayton, Nevada. Watch and answer for yourself.
The door here coming on. Whoa!
and this was only upon entering. If you crossed the threshold and this happened, would you take a step further? Me neither. When your dog sees something you don't, their harrowing sixth sense can send chills down your spine. That's what happened to TikToker Alpha Ocean 22, who writes, "I live alone and just found out about the previous owner." Alpha Ocean's footage begins abruptly with her dog barking into the darkness.
What? What are you barking at?
The dog is on high alert, his body language that of defense. He's seen growling and springing across the bed. Needless to say, the animal's reaction to whatever lies beyond terrifies its owner to no end. In a follow-up video, Alpha Ocean explains exactly what happened in the initial footage.
From Diesel essentially growling at nothing physical. I'm definitely not in a position to say what it was in the video or what is real and what's not. Personally, I've always been real spiritual, so I know what I felt.
She says she was woken up at 1 in the morning from her dog Diesel, growling at nothing physical. She explains that she's in no position to say exactly what it was that Diesel was growling at, though it was the first time the dog has acted this way. She, however, has always been spiritual and felt something in the home. She claims this wasn't the first time something unusual like this has happened to her. She calls the home her wildlife sanctuary, but says she's had some sense for a while that she's not supposed to be there. She discovered from neighbors that the owner of the home was a very closed-off man who lived alone with his mother who passed away. Alpha Ocean states she'll leave the rest up to the viewer's interpretation. So how do you interpret this? Do dogs have a sixth sense? And if so, did Ocean's pet perceive the presence of the homeowner's dearly departed? Or was this dog sensing something else? I guess we'll never know for sure. Nothing is more terrifying than surveillance footage of an event, especially one that ends human life. This video footage shows 3 suspects involved in a double life-taking in South Ogden, Utah. Surveillance footage surrounding the scene of the event captured 2 suspects peering through the home's windows, and later a masked man fleeing the scene. All 3 suspects were wearing hard plastic masks. According to several news articles documenting the event, police believe the incident was not random, but targeted, and that the suspects were familiar with both the people in their home. South Ogden Police Chief Darren Park noted that while reports of a loud party had been made to police, he asked any witnesses to come forward and said in a statement that he hoped the families of the people will gain some closure. Multiple surveillance cameras caught the suspects scoping out the home. One suspect was wearing a mask, while the 2 others wore opaque plastic masks as they approached. One camera showed a suspect crouched down, watching the home for a while, after which the second suspect and later the third joined in. A second camera caught them peering into the home's windows. Following the event, one of the men was seen on a third camera hopping over a fence. As of the latest update found online, dated March 2019 by ABC4, the double life-taking remains unsolved. More has been pieced together of the night's events, including the fact that 3 of the Van Komen brothers lived in the home, while the unfortunate older neighbor, Kevin Nelson, had just dropped by when the event occurred. Once 2 of the Van Komen brothers left to pick up some food, leaving just one and one other roommate inside, the strangers seized the opportunity to enter. The brothers were gone for no more than 10 minutes, and when they returned, they found Kyle passed away on the floor. Van Komen's mother, Renee Finch, said of the footage, "I think that it's creepy that they're out there watching." Adding later, "We're very thankful we didn't lose all 3 of our boys that night." Nelson's nephew, Ralph Nelson Jr., also said of his uncle that he was in the wrong place at the wrong time, a feeling echoed by Finch, who doesn't know why her son might be targeted. There was no clear motive for the double life-taking, which is likely why the trail remains cold today, despite over 70 people being questioned over the past 3 years. Unsolved mysteries are inherently terrifying, and the coldness of this case compounds that fear. This mysterious creature sighting is rumored to have been caught on the cell phone camera of a farmer somewhere in India who kept hearing scary noises coming from the woods nearby. When he goes to the edge of the forest, all he can hear is crickets. But it's not because he's alone. Far from it. It's because the mysterious creature is silently waiting not too far away. This could be a Wendigo, a skinwalker, or some other creature that's unknown. Assuming that this is not computer effects, I have little doubt that the creature would have descended upon the farmer from the treetops had he not spotted it with his cell phone camera first. At 49 seconds, its mouth is wide open, and it looks ready to pounce. A YouTuber named This Is Dan Bell has made a name for himself by exploring some of the creepiest abandoned places on Earth. This time he is seeing what he can find at an abandoned house outside of Baltimore City, the former home of the notorious Stephen Craig Johnson to be exact. In 1983, Stephen Craig Johnson brutally ended the life of his child in a fit of delusional rage. The case grew famous all up and down the entire East Coast, and it doesn't look like anyone has lived in the house ever since. As Dan Bell travels deeper inside, you can feel the sadness and despair clinging to every room. Amidst the discarded debris and wreckage, Dan Bell finds a weird handwritten letter in the closet with illustrations of a woman on the front and back. There's a brief paragraph talking about how evil the house is and what can be done to stop it. Some of the handwriting is kind of hard to read, so if anyone wants to type this letter out, I would appreciate it. Two things seem kind of sketchy about this letter to me though. First of all, the ink does not look faded enough to be something from the 80s, and the paper does not seem very aged either. I don't think it was penned by anyone in the Johnson family, so maybe someone else snuck inside and placed it here in recent years. Dan Bell is understandably nervous at this point, but he has come this far and there's still an entire second floor left to explore. He eventually finds himself in a stale attic covered with scattered documents and heaps of trash. He's just about to leave when he makes eye contact with something that has been watching him all along. A vulture, the devourer of fallen animals, silently regards him from the floor. Its gaze is calm and expectant, almost prideful in a way. If this really is a wild animal and not staged, then it is almost certainly a bad omen for sure. John of a paranormal channel called Exploration Unknown investigates an abandoned farmhouse late at night. He and two other ghost hunters split up and then reconvene downstairs to discuss what they found, which was little more than some empty rooms and loose steps.
The floors upstairs are pretty spongy. I did it, but I doubt it.
After talking with Tim, John walks through the first floor, and at 11 minutes a shadow figure is caught on tape moving above him.
We've got the K2 meter over here in this window. We're getting things set up. Alright. And then in here, we got Josh on the porch.
It's not Josh because Josh is on the porch outside, and it's not Tim because they just had a conversation about how dangerous the floor was up there. And for some reason the legs remain covered in darkness, even though enough light hits the area to show the banister is brown, so there's a strong chance that this ghost video is real. Onasio Rojas uses Facebook Live to record himself doing 115 miles per hour on the highway in Providence, Rhode Island, blasting loud music the entire time. He thinks nothing of swerving in and out of traffic, cutting off cars over and over again while going breakneck speeds. His high-speed escapade only lasts about 2 minutes before he cuts into the shoulder and fails to pull off a quick 2-lane change.
Got it, puppy.
What you don't see in the final moments of this video is the garbage truck slamming into him from behind, sending Onasi into the concrete barrier, and then into a dead stop in the middle of the road. He survived and was sentenced to 6 months of house arrest, followed by 6 months of probation. Based on this video, tell me if you think he has received a fair sentence. ILMN Bono Paranormal goes exploring an abandoned factory that has become a haunted place full of many ghost sightings ever since an accident cost several workers their lives 60 years ago. Soon they discover firsthand exactly how paranormal this place truly is.
Tady taková, nic. Ne, ne.
12 days later, he returns for more.
The big hole is there and no way. Some no way.
He says he's done, but he doesn't mean it. Everyone keeps begging for him to go back, and so 6 days later he returns for his final paranormal exploration at the haunted abandoned factory.
Oh no. You heard it. There is something.
When you go back and look again, it does look like a shadow figure is caught on tape.
Oh my god! Did you see that? Of course it's not here anymore. I don't know if you saw that, but it was standing right here.
Standing just around the corner is a patch of darkness that is brighter than the rest. Was it a ghost sighting or somebody standing around the corner? Based on the other paranormal activity he's caught on camera, I think we all know the answer to this real ghost sighting. Anthony lives around a bunch of abandoned farmland that he has always wanted to explore. So he takes his camera and spends the whole day poking around. He doesn't know anything about the history of this land or why it was abandoned, but the more he discovers, the less alone he feels.
Hello?
The buildings are all single-story structures in various states of decay, and each one is somehow distinctly lonesome in its own way. By the time he comes across the main house, he is very jumpy and senses eyes on him from afar. Tell me if you hear whispering during this part when he opens the door. I guess it could just be the creaky springs of an old screen door or something, but it really does sound like it could be voices. Anyway, the inside of the house is pretty well kept, especially compared to the other buildings, yet the unrelenting unholy aura only grows stronger with each step he takes. At one point, an abandoned nursery room literally makes Anthony nauseous. Surely something bad must have happened here.
This was a kid's room, and I feel so uneasy. I feel dizzy.
Anthony manages to check out the rest of the house, even the basement, without incident. He's ready to leave altogether, but there's just one final surprise left for him on the way out.
What the f was that? Something literally kicked the door.
The door abruptly closes with a short and impolite slam, the exact kind that homeowners use when they are upset with someone for being at their door. I don't think Anthony shut the door by himself because he was out of arm's reach when it happened, and maybe it's just me, but I think I can see some kind of shadowy mist in the window on the right. Coincidentally, in the same room he was just in, a YouTuber named Monster Mike Fishing may have landed his biggest catch yet, and it's nowhere near the ocean. His friend Jacob plugs the pipe so that their target can't escape, but now he has to reach into the murky waters to pull it out by hand. As soon as he announces that he's okay, this happens.
Are you okay?
I'm okay. Guys, no! Oh my god!
At 6 minutes and 12 seconds, the snake opens its mouth, and Jacob is barely able to hang on with one hand. He almost drops it and then quickly catches it again before it has a chance to attack. Now Jacob grapples with the snake and they wrestle to a stalemate. He can't hold this position much longer and calls to his friends.
I need help!
Only when he is pulled out of the sewer do they realize how massive this reptile really is and how much danger he was truly in and how risky this truly was. Published by Urban Ghost Hunters in February of 2020. This paranormal crew investigated a haunted 19th century church in rural Tennessee with urban legends surrounding it, involving dark rituals from the 60s onward. and reports of shadow figures and disembodied voices there. It was ripe for investigation, and the crew wasn't disappointed. After placing a Bible on the candlelit railing in the church, something in there was angered by it. I guess this church lives up to its haunted reputation. Shemeo, New Mexico is where you'll find the famous Ghost Garage, a paranormal hotspot along the highway where a ghost or two just might climb into your car. This person thinks they have a real paranormal video of a spirit caught on tape in this video. I kind of see what he's talking about, but you really must pay attention, or you'll miss both of these two ghost sightings. Do you see their faces? I think I might. Then again, I would like to see the original video without the filter. Only then will we know what these bizarre figures truly are. There's an older man who's looking out the window at Jacob Hessler and his friend, and it's freaking them out how he keeps leaving the spot and coming back to stare some more.
He's looking over. He's looking over. And now he walks away.
Some people suggest that the old man is simply looking at them because they were looking at him, and that they should just leave him alone. But this scenario still requires the old man to look out of his window in the middle of the night to notice they were there in the first place, which is odd. Maybe they were being loud or something, but the way they keep their voices low makes me think they were probably being quiet the whole time. So as it stands, this is a mysterious exchange without words and without explanation. This one would certainly wake you up at night and probably wouldn't let you go back to sleep. Posted by Awesome Narwhal to Reddit, he writes, "Saw a post about lightning and decided to share my own. The very short 3-second clip shows a lightning bolt blaze just outside the window, reaching what appears to be a tree off to the left. The entire tree lights up, not unlike the electrified burning bush from the earlier entry. This is such a scary act of nature that it almost makes you want to feel the heat yourself, but that is certainly not a good idea." A YouTuber named Yuya makes a video about microwavable desserts, but it accidentally turns into a creepy doll video instead. The doll is caught moving on camera at 7 minutes and 14 seconds.
Los amo con el alma entera.
The doll moves its arms by itself at the end of the video for no reason at all. It has nothing to do with the topic of the video, and everyone is pointing out how weird it was. I don't think she was doing this for views, because if so, then it would most likely happen in the very beginning. Besides that, with over 20 million subscribers, Yuya is already a successful YouTuber and wouldn't need to do something like this for attention anyway. It never happens again, and hasn't happened since as far as I know. But if any other creepy doll videos end up on her channel, which I have a feeling they will, then I will be sure to give them a full analysis. Exploration Unknown is a Knoxville-based urban exploration channel run by a man named John Turner. First appearing on YouTube in 2016, he dedicates his time to venturing into creepy abandoned locations, from derelict homes to former orphanages and asylums. His choice of location will often have a gruesome true story behind them, including the takings of life and other horrible events. Back in November 2017, John, along with friends James and Tim, returned to the abandoned Glendale orphanage they previously explored. This time their goal was to conduct the infamous 3 a.m. challenge. In short, 3 a.m. is considered the witching hour, the perfect time for hunting ghosts. Almost right off the bat at the video start, John and the others have split up when a wooden board is seen falling on its own from behind a doorway. John goes to investigate, and much to his shock and slight bemusement, it turns out it was just James playing a joke on them. This appears to be in James's nature, as he does so again when he slams a metal door shut. scaring John so badly he accidentally stops recording. Jokes aside, Tim soon begins to feel lightheaded after the trio go to the second floor and therefore decides to head outside for some air. Meanwhile, James and John continue to investigate the second floor, finding the normal things you would expect in an abandoned building. Graffiti, specks of dust, etc. When they descend the stairs back to the first floor, they are shocked to find Tim collapsed on the floor, out cold.
Down in the basement. I hope I got reception down there.
Tim? Dude, you okay? Tim? Tim, dude. Tim.
Bro, what are you doing?
You okay, man?
Thankfully, they were able to wake him, although he is clearly dazed and groggy. The reaction from John and James are of genuine concern and confusion, and Tim appears to be really out of it with a pale complexion. Deciding Tim's safety is more important, James and John help their fallen friend back outside and back to the car. Clearly shaken by the incident, John and James decide not to venture into the basement and instead footage of their previous visit is shown. It is unknown what exactly happened, and no other paranormal activity can be seen in the footage, so it is undetermined if Tim was the victim of some sort of attachment. He does show the common signs of paranormal attachment, which often manifest as feeling lightheaded and nauseated, and can even lead to passing out. What could also be possible is Tim came under the effects of harmful dust in the building. Considering the age and state of the orphanage, it is possible Tim became overwhelmed by particles such as asbestos, a once common insulation that can cause damage to the lungs if breathed in. The fact that John and James were unaffected does cast some doubt on this theory, although it is still completely possible. Regardless, finding your friend unconscious on the floor of such an eerie location is certain to scare anyone. Thankfully, Tim was okay and apparently started feeling a bit better after resting by the car. With that said, the three decided to call it a night and left the location. John clarified in the video description and comments Tim was okay and recovered, as well as thanking those who expressed concern for his condition. On February 21st, 2021, John uploaded a director's cut of the original video, acting as a sort of commentary. John discusses his personal experience that night. He stated he felt concerned about Tim when he said he wasn't feeling good, and expressed regret for not going with Tim to make sure he was alright. He also said he has received messages from people who had lived there during its operation, saying they actually had good experiences while residing there. They considered it a home with the staff taking good care of them. Comparing it to places such as Leckworth Village, it is a relief to hear good experiences about an orphanage, as they can be notorious for negativity, to put it mildly. When discussing the moment he and James found Tim, he said it looked as if he broke his leg. It is at this point John himself discusses a possible third explanation for Tim's condition. According to John, Tim had been up almost 30 hours at this point and had actually worked a full shift of work prior to joining the others. However, he also expresses Tim is sensitive to locations, including a time he collapsed at Skinwalker Ranch. This gives further support something had attached to him, but considering the positive remarks from former residents, it's hard to say what attached. It's good to know Tim turned out okay in the end, as these investigations can cause serious consequences. When in Kentucky, Bobby Mackey's is a must on your pit stop through Wilder, as the honky tonk place is often called the most haunted nightclub in America, and here's video to prove it. Posted by 303 Paranormal TV to the Chills Narrator subreddit. He writes, a few clips of some paranormal evidence caught on my channel. The footage was taken at Bobby Mackey's, which according to legend, has been the site of both life takings, takings of own lives, and of course hauntings. Folklore claims there's a gateway inside Bobby Mackey's, and it's haunted by the ghosts of people who passed away on site and nearby. One of the purported ghosts is that of Pearl Bryan, whose body was found around 2 miles away. According to some, those responsible put a curse on the site and said that they would haunt those who persecuted the case. Of course, All these claims are unsubstantiated. Pearl Bryan's life-taking is sadly true. No public records have been found to confirm Bobby Mackey's had any part in it, nor has the location's historical background regarding any other supernatural claims been verified. Regardless, some have captured paranormal experiences on tape at the site, including this video of a shadow figure moving across the wall in the empty club. Is there some truth in urban legends? Is this video proof of at least some unearthly presence here? I think I'd be too scared to ever find out for myself. When a shadow passes through your security footage, you know you're not alone. Posted by Lily Monique to the Chills Narrator subreddit. Lily shares that her uncle David and her father work for mall security. She writes, "This is what my dad and uncle caught on mall security cameras where they work in the middle of the night in the parking lot. The video shows David standing in the middle of the empty lot. He remains there in the light, and no one at all is around. But then a shadow passes close to the camera, completely blocking him from view for a moment. It almost looks as if a figure glided directly in front of the security camera. If I were David, I'd be looking over my shoulder in that parking garage." A very similar sounding shriek to the so-called cougar. This one claims the sound is coming from none other than a monster from traditional Latin America folklore known as La Llorona. According to legend, La Llorona was the unloved mother of her 2 sons. Her husband loved his sons more than her, and also had an affair with another woman, causing La Llorona to break. She is said to have taken the lives of her 2 boys in a river in a rage, following them in grief by taking her own alongside their bodies. Now she wanders the earth in search of the souls of her sons. The terrifying wailing of her grief is heard throughout Latin America. Those who hear her cries are said to face misfortune or even have their lives taken, so maybe just to be on the safe side, turn down the volume for this one. Published to YouTube in September of 2018, the horrifying demonic scream at the start of the video definitely doesn't sound human. In fact, it makes you want to urge whoever is filming to get someplace safe, fast. Instead, he films outside on the rain-filled streets at night, as La Llorona screeches demonically in an animalistic cry. Shortly after, a more human-like women's weeping is heard. The man approaches the phantom voice in the darkness. It's difficult to make out a figure in all this, but he speaks to her, and she responds, which makes one think this is a real human woman making these sounds, not La Llorona after all.
¿Tienes dulce? ¿Tu esposa?
After a while of the man chatting back and forth with her, and then answering his radio, the woman falls silent. Barry in the comments says, "I understand Spanish. She seems to have multiple personalities. Was that inhuman sound made by a human person? Someone with multiple personalities? Perhaps someone possessed? Or is this La Llorona in the flesh?" When you visit a place that's notoriously haunted, don't expect to be disappointed. Posted to YouTube by Corndictive, the uploader writes of this clip, "Watch the very top window of the house. That flash didn't happen when we were taping this, and none of us know what it is. There were no cars out when this happened. The top window in question is that of the Glenmore Mansion. This clip necessitates a little background on this spooky place. As it turns out, many of the historical sites of Jefferson County, Tennessee are crazy haunted. Glenmore Mansion was built in 1799. It belonged to a family for a century and was later bought up by Mr. Milton Preston Jarnigan, who named the house after his first son who passed away as an infant. The home was in the Jarnigan family for a further century. Over the course of more than 2 centuries, passing in this old home were bound to occur, resulting in the haunting of these hallowed grounds. According to some legends, the house is like an Escher drawing in that the exterior windows are more in number than the interior windows. Others also suggest the home's height changes, although some say the mega mansion has 15 rooms across 5 stories, with other sites reporting there are 27 rooms. When the mansion falls dark, visitors claim there's a presence roaming around the home, but don't worry, the presence is benevolent. Some believe it to be the ghost of a local historian, Thomas Roach. When alive, Roach claimed that if ever a ghost was found there, it would be him. But one of the creepiest sightings happened outside the mansion altogether. A young girl is often seen walking along the estate's road at night in the darkness. From unexplained sounds to shadows in the mirrors, the mansion has had its fair share of ghastly ghosts. Tours of the home are routine, but once the lights are out and the house has been abandoned for the night, some say a light turns on in the attic. This Victorian gem of a house seems so perfectly cookie-cutter that it's the perfect place for a haunting, and the unsettling nature of the home is confirmed by this video. The crew focuses in on an upstairs window, where they see lights or a flash of white and something moving inside. Can you spot it? Whether you believe in ghosts or not, you probably wouldn't want to be in Glenmore Mansion when the lights turned on. It's a full moon, and a YouTuber who goes by the name of Al Capone is in the most hectic cemetery I have ever seen. He can't even explain what he's been through without getting interrupted.
Okay, things moving behind tombstones while I was driving.
Then listen to this at 4 minutes and 52 seconds.
No, behind me.
Oh, you heard it behind you? I heard it.
No, I heard what was by you, but I'm saying by the cars, like...
Al is talking when another man's voice speaks at the same time. What they hear a minute and a half later leaves their mouths hanging open. I mean, this could be neighbors from some of the nearby houses, except there's really no reason for anybody to be shouting near the cemetery in the middle of the night. Plus, the direction these voices are coming from is deeper in the cemetery, away from the houses and closer to the woods. And since this video was made in the middle of January 2020, I doubt anyone was out there camping. A person in Ukraine was filming a calm river one evening just in time to capture a humanoid-looking creature cross underneath of a bridge using all fours. As the footage shows, something is grabbing onto the underside of a bridge and silently making its way across. Exactly what the creature is remains a debate online to this day. Some people have pointed out that this could be a human, but others have noticed how its legs and arms appear to be the exact same length. It almost looks like it could be an animal, but I'm not aware of any animal from this region that likes to hang upside down from bridges. Besides, if someone had to go underneath a bridge like that for whatever reason, then they would either hang from their arms or else hug the bridge tightly while creeping across. This thing, on the other hand, just swings across the bottom like it's no big deal. Human or not, this thing definitely has a very bizarre center of gravity as it moves. Ever felt like you were being watched? These three boys definitely had reason to. Posted by the Comics Man to the Chills Narrator subreddit, the uploader writes, "Some dudes go to the Danakil Desert or a park. What is in the first frame? The video shows 3 kids getting ready to do some parkour, everyday kid stuff, but not far beyond in the background. Look at what is watching them from a nearby tree. The figure appears like a silhouette and gives off serious Slenderman vibes. The ominous way it's lurking there makes the otherwise innocent parkour video intensely creepy. You can vaguely see the figure again at a distance at 1 minute and 43 seconds. It continues to stand there in the clump of trees, and again around 3 minutes in. What is this thing? Do these boys have a lurker? Nowhere is safe." This mother is relaxing on the patio when a loud boom startles her pretty badly. No, I said loud. The boom is so large it rocks the camera and briefly lights up the room despite it being in the middle of the day. I really hope Chris knew what he was doing, because that sounded like it was way too close to the house. A YouTuber named Savage Mister seems to be able to control the elements with his mind, and this creepy video has some viewers losing theirs in return. Savage Mister waves to the sky, and in that moment a streak of sideways lightning appears to follow his commands. Although it looks like he has superhuman powers, this was actually a total accident. Savage Mister is in the middle of a conversation with his brother, and he was talking with his hands when this once-in-a-lifetime coincidence happened, and really shocked them both. Heather of Heather Hauntings is investigating a place known as the Shadow People Trail, a name that needs no further explanation. They go to the very end of the trail where the most paranormal activity is said to occur.
Ghost radar first, because that one's been working.
Oh yeah, that one's been working really good.
Okay. Whoa, what the that?
Oh, it's loud.
What the? Oh my god, this place is so creepy.
And it isn't long before they catch some creepy stuff on camera that leaves them scared.
So,
What the?
people must have.
Oh no.
Terror.
Terror?
Yeah, I'm creeped.
Good.
The scary noises coming from the woods stop for a while, and Heather's group wonders if the Shadow People have left. Watch the ghost radar screen when they ask the Shadow People where they went.
Where'd you go?
Yeah, you were all over and now you're just gone.
They leave a camera facing the direction of the noise and walk away. The camera starts to move on its own even though it is on a well-balanced tripod. Some shadows move in front of the camera at 14 minutes and 45 seconds, and then the camera falls over. They've caught enough paranormal evidence on camera to convince me that this forest is as haunted and scary as the legends say. Got insomnia? This scary video won't help. Published by Little Genius in February of 2022, the following footage was captured while this poor soul was sleeping, or trying to. Slowly, the blankets are pulled down from the man's shoulders. He pulls them back up, but it happens again, and then a third time. But this doesn't seem to get the sleeping man's attention. A water bottle balanced on his headboard falls onto the bed. He replaces it and continues to sleep, but the bottle soon wobbles to the side and falls again. Next, a chair with a teddy bear slides forward on its own. Moments later, it scoots forward even more. It then tips backward, falling onto the floor and finally waking the man up. What entity is interfering with this guy's sleep? Whoever it is, it succeeded. This man will never sleep again. Mr. Biggs is a giant iguana who is not behaving normally. He hardly recognizes his owner upon entering his room. And yes, Mr. Biggs does happen to have his own room.
See, there he is. He tried to bite.
The large lizard fits a single finger squarely in his mouth and clamps down, but a closer look reveals it's actually just an empty glove at the end of a ruler. As it turns out, Mr. Biggs was just hungry and not trying to take over. He might have even mistaken the glove for a big hunk of lettuce. Look at him here at 3 minutes and 7 seconds. You would never have expected this could be the same Mr. Biggs as before.
Yeah, he doesn't even care. Can wrangle him up.
This mysterious footage was captured on camera by videographer Daniel Hobbit back in 1989, shared by YouTube channel This Is The End. The mystery continues. Watch for the black mass. You can't miss it. Invited to a haunted home by a frightened couple who live there. Hobbit captured this strange shadow figure in one corner of the room.
Video in the home of a very frightened couple, convinced they were living with a disturbed
While panning the camera, Hobbit also captured this in the mirror.
Hobbit even caught the apparition reflected in a mirror. This shot persuades many top researchers that we are witnessing a real.
According to the channel, the family moved from this home soon after. The footage has convinced some YouTubers of paranormal activity, and others have even experienced something similar. Given that this was recorded on VHS at a time where CGI would have been rare, I'm sold that this is real paranormal activity captured on camera. What do you think? A YouTuber named Outdoors with Eric patrols his property at night because he suspects a mysterious creature in the woods. It's a scary exploration and a creepy location for sure, but Eric wants to get as much evidence on camera as he can, so he keeps his fear in check and marches forward. At 1 minute and 43 seconds, he hears some really scary noises coming from the woods. I don't know what kind of creature would be up late at night screaming in the darkness. What does it sound like to you? He walks for another minute until the scary noises give him pause again, much louder and closer this time.
Man, you guys hear that?
He feels watched and zooms in close with his night vision camera. You can barely make out the shape of a creature at first, so let me point it out for you.
That is bizarre.
When he plays with the setting, he gets a much better sighting on the creature, and soon discovers there are two of them across the stream.
They're coming closer. Analytics. Yeah.
Two dots in the distance mark where he thinks they are. The screaming creatures of the night. No doubt they are real, and so are the scary noises. But the real question is, what are they? In Mexico, a security guard was making his rounds at a store when he captured these paranormal manifestations on camera. First, he sees this spooky cart playing mind games.
Cabrón. Ahí está la primera cosa. No mames, no mames.
He later enters what appears to be a storage room, and the mannequins attack.
Sí, normalmente es. Casi toda la basura es de aquí, de Soriana. Oh, no, que te... No mames.
He continues his tour when a scary Santa starts to dance.
Hola amigo, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? No vengo a molestarte. A ver, vamos a acercarnos poquito. No, se me da quiz.
Well, this one is clearly automated. What triggered it? The guard leaves the room and returns, and again Santa comes to life and then jumps ship.
No manches. Oh. Ay, qué pedo, no manches.
What do you make of this creepy series of events? In my opinion, while the automated Santa may have just been malfunctioning, the shopping cart and mannequin are harder to dismiss. A YouTuber named Lord Cryptid looks up to see a gorilla-sized creature staring at him from a short distance away. The head and shoulders are clearly defined, but it's not moving at all, so Lord Cryptid decides to get a closer look. It continues to silently regard him as he closes in. Now only a thin patch of thickets and reeds separates him from the threat before him, and when he zooms in, you're not going to believe what he sees. He is only meters away, and it still looks like a humanoid, not a bear. But when the camera focuses, what was originally an astoundingly scary creature is actually little more than a tree stump. I'm including this video because I feel like it could explain many of the other similar cryptid sightings in the woods. So in the future, unless the creature actually moves, it's probably just a stump. When Ravi Singh and his friends see two mysterious figures in white, they have an odd reaction and decide to flash their high beams instead of driving away. I feel like they're trying to prove a point here, but I don't understand. So if you speak the language, tell me what they're saying.
आगे कर अपर डिपर मार तो प्रवास होत बापा मन.
What's kind of weird is how the possible spirits always seem to stay just outside of the headlights, almost like they want to follow but only while staying in the darkness. And I think they are trying to point out that the spirits do not show up on the dash cam, but I'm not sure.
हाँ जान दे पिछू जान दे पिछू.
I'm hoping someone can translate this scenario, because I really want to know what's going on. It's always unnerving when a complete stranger shows up on your doorstep, but even more so when it's someone acting like this guy. Posted to the Chills Narrator subreddit by Miss Doolittle Tex, the Redditor explains that this man showed up on her doorstep and just stood there, not ringing the doorbell. The video shows exactly that. He walks slowly and haphazardly to the door, carrying some plastic bags. Then he just stands there for a moment, appearing to be listening at her door, before turning around and heading back up the sidewalk. He isn't wearing a mask, and as the Redditor says, left as soon as her dogs started barking, but not for long. He is seen on another security camera, walking along some grass behind the houses. He simply strolls along the water and then disappears, but moments later is seen racing back, jumping fences along the way. Apparently someone had also trespassed on her neighbor's property the previous night. It's unclear what he did there, how long he stayed, or what or who he's fleeing from, but the Redditor didn't want to find out what his plans were. She called the authorities. This man doesn't appear to be in his right mind. Whatever this man's situation, most agree calling the authorities was the right thing to do. Sometimes you can just sense evil in places, sometimes in your very own home. Posted in the very spooky video subreddit by Big Daddy Marco, the Redditor writes that he is quarantined in a haunted house. Originally published to YouTube by Donnie Drunkard, he writes, "Since being in quarantine, the paranormal and haunted activity has manifested in poltergeist activity on an almost daily basis. I believe the entity is demonic in nature." Terry explains that this is an update and recap of footage caught on his live stream. He also says that he thinks there's more than one spirit in his home. Using a paranormal tool that captures movement, the recap shows that something is indeed present in the hallway, and its presence is made known on more than one occasion. The kinetic image appears. In the last clip, he tells the thing to leave, and after a moment it does as he commands.
Trespass against us. I'm shaking so bad right now, man.
It disappears from the monitor. Some in the comments suggest that Terry get a demonologist into his home to take this thing on. What would you do if you sensed, heard, and saw a demonic spirit in your home? Would you stay or would you go? Sometimes anger comes in the form of a crazy woman guarding her property. For YouTuber Jack Z in May of 2018, this was the case. Jack explains that he and his friends were riding along a trail they'd never explored. It led to a stranger's property, but it wasn't clear that they were on private property, as there weren't signs or fences around it. And in the video, it really doesn't appear private. It looks like a forest, a free-for-all. According to Jack, as they were heading out, a woman came out of nowhere and started confronting them.
I'm sorry, get off!
I'm sick and tired of you, bull!
This is the first time I'm here!
Bull! You guys are here all the time,
No, it's
scaring
not
my horses!
Grabbing hold of Jack's backpack to throw him off balance, which led him to busting his brake on a downed tree that was in front of him. As he climbs out from under his bike, she can be heard screaming at his friends as well. She then gets in his face, saying that him and his friends are there every weekend on her private property, scaring her horses. Jack writes, moral of the story is to be careful of what trails you choose to follow. It seems to me that this chilling event was just one big misunderstanding, and I hope this woman doesn't choose to act this way in similar future situations. Afraid of heights? Look away or this one might get you. The video illustrates the day-to-day of those who climb tall towers to work on the antennas and transmission lines of the world's tallest skyscrapers. Imagine starting out your workday with a fierce climb. The clip, from the tower climber's point of view, shows the climb up a 1,768-foot tower, and it's a rough one. Don't worry, there's an elevator up to the 1,600-foot point. Still, the rest of the upward ascent is nothing short of daunting. 168 feet of climbing up a ladder, carrying a 30-pound tool bag, which hangs via a rope below you. With this frightening view all around? No thanks. At the top of the tower, the climber is no longer surrounded by the metal structure. Now he's free climbing up small rungs with nothing surrounding him, should he lose his footing. I suppose this is what gives us goosebumps with these types of clips. With one wrong step, one wrong move, a stroke of bad luck, or the wrath of nature, the climber is moments away from a long fall. A YouTuber named Paranormal World records a weird video in a parking garage that he claims is inhabited by a scary unknown creature. He is walking to his car when he hears some seriously scary noises coming from the other side, and that's when he says this creature was caught on camera. Something impossibly fast and low runs across the ground and makes him get into his car fast. The unknown creature looks like a bizarre sighting at first, until you zoom in for a better look, at which point the object looks pretty fake, to be honest. I mean, the legs don't even move, so I don't even know how this creature sighting could be real. I also found another video in which he says to have had a ghost sighting in the same building. I mean, the chances of having a creature sighting and a ghost sighting in the same lifetime, let alone in the same building, seems pretty rare. I will say this video looks much more convincing. That is, until 13 minutes and 13 seconds when the little ghost girl abruptly disappears, instead of smoothly fading away. What do you think? Is this video real or fake? YouTuber Don John Averon claims to have captured an unknown humanoid on tape while deep in the woods in 2016. But without more information or evidence, little can be verified in regards to this video's authenticity. But if it's real, then this chilling footage shows Dawn silently creeping up on an ape-like creature that has tiny legs and a hunched-over upper body. The humanoid does not seem to notice him as it casually swings its massive arms while walking. It moves like a human, but apparently has giant sloth-like arms with no fingers. It retreats deeper into the forest and Dawn doesn't follow. Justin White and his friends sneak into the abandoned LA Zoo, which is supposedly one of the most haunted places in the entire city. It's too dark to see much, but they seem to be followed by strange sounds that are getting progressively closer. By the end of the video, it really does seem as though something is right on them.
Oh my god! Christ! What the? Hear that? Actually hear that?
I felt something on my arm, like I'm not even joking. Okay.
We're leaving. Dunzo.
Oh my god, Dunzo.
Twigs snap underfoot just behind them. It couldn't have been one of them because everybody in the group is standing completely still on camera when it happens. Oh, and there's another piece of evidence that makes me think this zoo really might be haunted. They managed to capture a soft voice on camera that they later enhanced for clarity. It sounds like a girl's voice and she seems to have a clear warning. This 2009 video is some of the earliest and most bizarre evidence of the weird and mysterious lights at the Skinwalker Ranch in Utah, which is considered a hotbed of paranormal activity all around. Perfect spheres of lights like this one often are sighted in the sky, or sometimes on the ground. Strange lights that have never been explained. The mysterious lights don't look like anything made by a person because they are almost as tall as a tree and extremely wide, much bigger than even the largest of spotlights. This next video, taken by the uploader's brother shortly after spending a day at the Skinwalker Ranch, shows an object moving on its own in their basement.
Swinging for 15 minutes now.
More unexplained lights have been haunting his basement. Did something paranormal follow them home? Chelsea Luna and her friend James go ghost hunting in an old haunted tunnel from the 1920s. This creepy shadow figure at 18 minutes and 7 seconds is what they find. Everyone says that this is a real ghost sighting, but I'm pretty sure this alleged apparition is simply Chelsea's finger while pointing at something. You can kind of see the rest of her hand when you look close, a split second before it happens. So I think this scary ghost sighting is an accident and not real. An Xbox Kinect is probably the last thing that you would ever expect to use to capture a ghost, but that's what Keith Weldon apparently did on his channel called Weldon Paranormal. This ghost hunter received a call to investigate paranormal activity at an antique store in Rocklin, California, so he packed up his equipment and headed over. The owner of this shop believed that a spirit was attached to an antique piece of furniture. To find the ghost, they used a Kinect camera that's hooked up to a laptop using special ghost hunting software. The software uses the Kinect's motion sensing capabilities to detect and map out any invisible forms in the room. Nothing is happening at first, so after a while, they decide to play old music that's from the same time period as the haunted furniture. Sure enough, they capture a ghost apparently dancing behind them.
And it has that figure over there and it looks like it's dancing again. Do you like the music? Like literally like got rhythm and like...
Oh yeah.
When they turn the music off, they try to interact with the ghost some more.
She's shying away. Yeah. Oh my God.
It's holding your hand.
If this footage is real, then it could be the first time a true human-to-ghost interaction has ever been recorded. I don't understand the technology behind this equipment, so I can't say if it's real or fake, but if you're a ghost hunting expert and can verify this footage, then please let me know. A lot of people meditate to relax, but using breathing techniques to master the elements of nature is where the topic takes a strange and mysterious twist, bordering on the supernatural. The ability to manipulate one's surroundings in such a way is done using an energy called chi. This is one such practitioner, and water is his element of choice. Somehow he is able to make the liquid rise to the surface in a way that follows the energy guided by his hand. Soon he has created a bumpy surface full of individual droplets. He releases his hold and with a wave of his hand, the water returns to normal. So this video is really mysterious. There doesn't appear to be anything in the water to make it do this. At least nothing I can see. I feel like he could have put metal shavings or something in the water and then had someone with a magnet underneath create this effect. Can someone who knows more about science tell me if I'm on the right track? Otherwise, this is about as strange and mysterious as it gets. A YouTuber named Jamie Sinclair is hanging out with her friend and her dog when she records some weird things.
What the?
She looks up to see a swing set is moving on its own. As she gets closer, we can notice some things that make this unexplained video even more mysterious. Okay, so the obvious answer is that it's the wind, right? Wrong. Look at this rope next to it, stationary. Are you meaning to tell me that the wind is strong enough to push this swing but not move this rope? I don't think so. Footprints are all around the swing, so I'm not acting like her friend couldn't have pushed it and then acted surprised, but the point is there's no way to tell for sure, and even the smallest chance of paranormal activity is still creepy to think about. The International Space Station is a floating research base built by NASA that orbits around the world. This footage was taken from cameras on the outside, and it has led many people to believe that NASA accidentally live-streamed alien contact on television. Everything looks normal when all of a sudden, a small number of UFOs casually travel from right to left across the screen. Stranger still is how NASA suddenly cuts away to a wide shot of the mission control room when this happens. They later claimed that the UFOs were ice particles, but perhaps there is another explanation. A YouTuber named Chastity Pineda TV has a haunted basement. As this paranormal video shows, her camera detects motion at 2:52 a.m., but she can't see anything, only the sound of ghost footsteps. And 8 minutes later is when this 3 a.m. paranormal experience is archived for her to look at later. She puts the camera in a different spot, and on another night, 11:45 to be precise, she catches the swing in motion with all of the lights on, and at 2:20 the next afternoon, the swing is moving on its own and something new happens. Listen again. Did you hear the creepy kid's voice when the stick falls? That's an old walking stick they're interacting with, by the way. Perhaps this object is what's causing these events. These books appear to be flying off the shelf all by themselves at an Alamo gift shop after hours. It's hard to tell if they were truly pulled out by a ghost, or if someone was just pushing them from the other side of the shelf and playing a prank. We'll never know for sure, but if this were to happen anywhere in Texas, then a historical site like the Alamo would be a very likely location. Things are about to get creepy on this CCTV video taken from a restaurant somewhere in China. A man looks in the cooler and decides to help himself to something else. A while later, he takes a seat near a woman who's looking the other way. 26 seconds is when he looks over and then he goes for it, taking something in her jacket, probably a purse, and walking straight out the door. He's fumbling around for quite some time and likely has to undo a button or two to abscond with her belongings. If only she had turned around the other way, he would have been caught in person and not just on camera. For those of you who think this isn't a scary video, try getting stranded in another country with no passport, money, credit cards, or phone. That's a situation only for the brave if I've ever heard one. Want to see a magic trick right before your very own eyes? TikToker Vincent L.A. Jordan has one for you. Watch for the guy in the red shirt. Everyone's wondering where he came from. He seems to materialize out of thin air as the ladies walk forward. Watch again closely. My theory is that he's Doctor Strange, or he teleported there. Is there any more logical explanation? The Spirit Walk paranormal team is taking viewers along on an investigation of Mount Morris Mystery House in Pennsylvania. Let's see what they found. Upon first speaking through the spirit box, they discover who they're dealing with.
Are you a male with...
As they continue to communicate, it warns them.
Do you think that there's something...
And then it seems to appear. Or perhaps it's lurking behind them.
You're a million gals reading. What happened? Something moved behind me. Something... Yeah, something... Like some straight move.
It sounded like glass.
They then get a reading on one of their devices.
And I couldn't get back to it.
And they hear faint footsteps.
Someone fall?
When asked a simple question, the ghost laughs.
That.
This house does seem to present a number of paranormal phenomena, but in my opinion, the spirit doesn't seem malevolent. If I were this family, I'd just try to live with them in harmony. Sleepwalker has a few tricks up his sleeve, published to the Thai channel Haunted Before Bed. This security footage captures a sleepwalker's misadventures overnight, and they're scarier than you can even imagine. The sleepwalker is seen standing over his bedmate, then sitting straight up in bed. A little later, he is posed strangely like he's dancing. Another room security camera captures him standing over a table, staring at it for a moment. Then he reaches his arm towards a water bottle on the far end of the table. This is where things get truly creepy. His arm stretches like Gumby to grab the bottle, and then retracts to a normal length. Later, as he sits back in bed, an arm reaches out from under the bed. This time, it's not his Gumby arm, it's someone else's. A couple of guys are shown sleeping in another room at around 2:40 in the morning, when suddenly a woman's scream is heard. They both get up from bed to investigate, and as they do, they hear a crashing sound like broken glass.
Fine.
They open the door to find the bed empty of its two occupants, and a human-like figure crouched on a windowsill, its eyes glowing as it looks at them. The figure then jumps from the second floor. The cameraman races to the window, but only darkness reigns. What was this figure? And where did the sleepwalker and his roommate go? It's a twisted nightmare in the making. Are apps the best method by which to gauge the paranormal around us? Published by QTube in August of 2021. These guys are freaking out after seeing something sitting in a chair in their home via an app filter. They note that another chair nearby looks completely normal, but when scanning the chair next to it with the filter, it's red hot with energy.
And this chair isn't.
Look, this one's fine, but you can go on this chair. Someone is sitting on this chair, guys.
They're sure that someone is sitting in this chair. Is technology finally allowing us to engage with the invisible energies around us, or is the filter just glitching? I think they should try using a thermal camera in this room. It might just reveal more than what we saw here. Earl Quest is certain that his mirror in his house is haunted because he is always seeing weird things in it out of the corner of his eye. Finally, one day he's had enough and decides to simply record behind him to figure out once and for all what exactly his haunting mirror is trying to show him. Imagine his surprise when his own reflection turns around. Actually, he isn't surprised at all, and that seems like the strangest thing about this video when you think about it. Most people would drop the camera and run screaming if they saw this, but he just keeps the same face like it's no big deal, which doesn't sound like a realistic reaction to me. This TikTok video, while scary, must not be real because he doesn't even so much as look back at his reflection. A flying ghost has been caught on home CCTV video. Claims a man in India who uploaded this bizarre late night sighting. A pure white object briefly pokes out of the woods. The supposed ghost video is low resolution and could be almost anything from a flashlight to wildlife. It looks weird, but I'm not exactly convinced he didn't just throw something himself. A man in New Zealand is stopped at a gas station when this orange light rips by overhead in a perfect arc. It was accompanied by a high-pitched sound that broke the audio on his camera and hurt his ears. I don't think that it's car headlights because it approaches from a weird angle, plus the way it moves is far from normal. Sandra of Two Dimensional Paranormal goes exploring an Irish graveyard. Some people in the comments are saying she's caught a ghost on tape, so let's take a closer look. The first encounter happens at 9 minutes and 25 seconds.
Keep checking back in case it's something there. Are you smoking? Yeah, because it's just going past the camera. My answer, dropping off.
The paranormal mist returns about 5 minutes later at 14 minutes and 7 seconds.
And I looked at that and I was just about to go there and I turned round. And that's... Oh, listen, I'm getting freaked. What's that?
It's not her breath because it comes from the darkness behind her. Not to mention this only happens 2 times in the 38-minute video. Considering they're exploring a graveyard for spirits, I think this video could very well be real. If you heard this sound in the middle of nowhere, what would you do? Instagram account Cryptid University posts this video taken at a borrowed cabin in the middle of the forest. Listen closely.
This time.
I don't know about you, but I got absolute chills from this audio. Listen again.
What in the bloody fuck? Why am I doing this?
Is this a skinwalker? I think it might be, and if so, it's actually closer than we think. The extraterrestrials have come for the Commander-in-Chief. This video, shared by Redditor ExpensiveAd1774, was captured over Washington, D.C.
Whoa!
Look at move, look at it move, man. What the?
3 red lights appear in an overcast sky. At first it appears they could belong to a triangular spacecraft, but the lights seem to shape-shift over time.
I remember what I was going to figure for me, man. And
that's the same
and
thing across that bridge.
Well, him.
Many in the comments say they've witnessed something similar. What could this be? I don't think this is a set of drones. Washington, D.C. is understandably a no-drone zone, but with so many in the comments encountering similar unidentified flying objects, I've got to believe there's either some logical explanation, or we really are being monitored by extraterrestrials. This ghost is an art thief. Jeff believes he's captured poltergeist activity on camera. I'll let him explain.
You might say poltergeist activity. We've been having a lot of problems here at the house. Things moving. I've had a kitchen table dragged from my dining room into my kitchen. Never can get it on camera. Well, I finally got...
The proof is in the details. Watch the painting to the left carefully.
And there it goes. Nothing near it. Nobody. I was in the back room. Actually on the phone with my wife at the time. And, yeah. You'll see that an orb go through there.
The painting falls slightly after hanging in this spot unmoved for a decade. While I'd like to see additional footage of the poltergeist activity in this home, this is certainly a convincing start. Despite its name, the doll room in the historic Jefferson Hotel is a sinister place, and this video shared by the hotel's YouTube channel confirms this. Listen closely.
Some more dolls to our doll room. That particular doll is over 100 years old.
As you can see, the manager hears a noise down the hallway, and as soon as he turns to look, one of the dolls falls down in the room. Listen again. He enters to see what happens.
Another little video tour that I do when we add some more items to the rooms or whatever. So we added some more dolls to this room, which is our dolls and stuff room. And as I walked in the room, I heard a noise going down the hall right there.
He replaces the doll. But it doesn't get any less creepy. To me, it looks like it's watching him. If you ever get lost in your own little world while driving, you may be missing out. Fear is right outside your window. YouTuber Nabs Maya captured this unusual figure on camera, and they are disturbed by it. Watch closely.
There's no guys are coming down this far. Right, so at the beginning of the show, the 10 o'clock on the dot this morning, and we have got one new entry on the code top 40. You've obviously then got one fallout. We'll get to that a little bit later. But that new entry...
What they're looking at is that bright pale figure in the middle of the field. It appears to be standing idle. Though the camera is shaky, the figure doesn't move.
Kept your everything stays the same.
You can even see a bird fly past it, undisturbed. What is this thing? It's difficult to tell from such a distance. I think it could be anything. A person, a scarecrow, even a ghost. But these guys are gonna have to get closer to test out my theories. Is this ER haunted by the dearly departed? TikToker Lucy Trevelyan thinks so. They've posted this security camera footage as proof. Watch the curtain in the background.
He slammed on the stud finger over your hardly, but that's the amount positive.
What the?
It blows around, moving as though someone touched it. According to the TikToker, this happened at around 5 in the morning. Nobody was there, and there are no air vents near the curtain.
When we slammed on the stud finger over your hardly, but that's the amount positive, and there's no.
Judging by everyone's reaction, this is an anomaly. If we are to trust the TikToker that no air vents might have caused this, I think it's safe to say that the spirits did. After all, hospitals are regular havens of lost souls. This campus is home to a fixture called the Ghost Lamp, a light with a life of its own. According to legend, a young woman who attended the college took her life when she was kicked out. The woman's soul remains in this light. None of the other lights in this area flicker like this. Redditor Hyperpain thought it was bull until his brother took him there, and then this happened.
There he goes. Up. Can you turn on full bright for my friend Regan? Oh, hi. There it is. See? See? It does that. That's what it does. Okay. See?
It seems to respond to their request, but does that mean it's paranormally activated? An electrician and a priest weigh in the comments. Well, I guess that settles it. The ghost's soul must have some faulty wiring. Numerous cameras around this home have captured paranormal activity. Shared by YouTube channel G&D Studios, this is video proof of a haunting. The first instance is subtle.
No, they want to be. Then I cannot be going.
The next one, though, not so much. Then, at around 3 in the morning, a bunch of noise is captured on camera, along with movement. Back in the kitchen, something is playing in the curtain.
On the volume.
What was about him?
And back at the front door, something is playing in the jacket.
No, but let's set that up.
In my opinion, this is some pretty straightforward footage. I think now's the time to invest in some sage. Redditor zealous_art8526 is wondering, what the? Watch behind the baby gate. Something semi-transparent and pale slowly appears. It morphs and changes shape, then it simply vanishes. Although it's quite obscure, it looks like a figure of some kind, but definitely not a human. The video has been slowed down. While I agree that it could be the light from a passing car obscured through a window in the next room, the form it takes is surely creepy. The horrific event that happened at University of Idaho has drawn national and international attention. Redditor 2201992 shared some Fox News footage of the investigation, including an interview with the victim's father. During the interview, something odd happens. Listen closely.
Holy, that's a scream.
It does sound like a scream to me too. Some in the comments say it happens 3 times on the full video posted on the Fox News website. Whether or not this can be explained, considering the interviewer is at the scene of the incident, this terrifying shriek made my hair stand on end.
Holy, that's a scream.
While being given a tour of a haunted house, this lady saw the haunting with her very eyes, watched the dark doorway behind the group.
What? Oh my God. What, Emily? Help. What's wrong?
You're right.
The cameraman apparently didn't see the ghost at the time. Only the lady to the left saw it.
What? Oh my.
She later has a panic attack, describing what she witnessed.
No, I saw it. I saw it.
Oh, that's close.
No, there was a girl with a blue dress walking towards us in that room.
Which room?
Do you see it? I certainly do. It's one of those things that's got everyone talking. On their last walk of the day, Redditor Gaddon420 and his dog heard something chilling in the woods. Listen closely. Let's hear it again. Many in the comments think it's a fox, others think it's a vixen, which according to one Redditor, sounds like someone having their life ended. After listening to recordings of fox screams, I'd have to agree, that is what a fox says. This Airbnb promises you a terrible night's sleep. Published by Chelsea Luna in October of 2020, this scary video takes you on a tour of America's most haunted Airbnb. Chelsea's creepy overnighter begins with a hiss.
What does that mean?
She looks around but sees nothing. Her dog doesn't take kindly to this place and starts barking at nothing. When she asks if there's anyone there, she hears a whistle.
Is anyone in here?
And later a knock sounds at the door, setting off the dog alarm. After a while, she heads outside only to hear more disturbing noises. Back inside, she finds red liquid on the wall and later feels something right behind her.
Is there a spirit?
Oh my gosh.
Quiet.
As they're later talking to a demon named Raymond, a water bottle falls on its own, startling them. They continue talking to the spirit when something loud is heard. It looks like an object flies in Chelsea's face.
Are you a demon?
As the pair are considering leaving the haunted Airbnb to grab a coffee at Starbucks, you hear a loud thump.
I'll just drive. I don't care. I'm down to go.
What near side of the gas station to get a chocolate shop?
Sounds like Raymond, the demon, doesn't want them to go. Seen at a distance, TikToker JenUs58 is wondering, what is that? Let's take a look. The figure appears to be running in the beginning and then, mysteriously, stands frozen still. When the driver flashes its lights, the figure starts running again. He gets closer and finds that the figure appears headless. It then disappears into the darkness. But when he returns to his car, he turns to find the ghost has reappeared. So was it a ghost or something else? While I'm pondering that question, most in the comments are wondering why the guy even got out of his car. Anyone who lives in this house is told by local villagers to leave it. YouTube channel 01 Supernatural Studio writes, it is said that nothing happened to this house itself, but for some reason, after the original owner moved out, he could not rent it, and in the end it was left to be abandoned here. Let's see why. Upon entering, he finds an N95 mask hanging from a hanger.
然后这里竟然还晾着一个 N95 的口罩。
The house is abandoned, but the reason why is not yet clear.
这样子，你们多少都知道，这个屋子某方面听起来就好像有问题，对不对？然后你看，还有这个合适。
In another room, he finds children's bicycles and a grain dryer.
真的，那脚踏车。 哇，干豆机耶！这个是以前晒谷物用的吗？
And in a corner, a rice threshing machine.
啊，对了，那个干豆机应该是谷物用的，这是打稻机吧？好。
He gets an EMF reading on the second floor.
磁场，2楼的磁场比刚刚1楼还要来得乱哈，这也是。 意料之中的事情。
He asks for the spirits of the place to show some energy, and they respond.
灵体的存在呢，若有的话，请做一些能量上的反应好吗？有。有。
This room on the second floor is in complete disarray.
这个地方因为有做棉被，所以说我不太想踩过去，因为我前一阵子才被跳蚤咬。 但桌上还有那种红色的拜神用的蜡烛哎，然后床。
Suddenly, the light on his camera goes out.
怎么回事？我的灯怎么突然熄掉了？只有3红外线热显像你可以看，我的灯自己突然熄掉了。
He asks a series of questions and receives immediate responses.
刚刚关机了，不好意思。 那我再想请教一下，他某方面来讲，是不是被你们牵走了呢？
He seems to have gotten the answers he was looking for. This place does look disturbing to me, but does that mean it's haunted? It seems you have to be there to know for sure. A strange creature was spotted in the darkness of this homeowner's backyard, shared by TikToker Canadian Babe Forever. At first, you can only hear it. The noise is subtle, but then grows louder. It sounds like something on the brink of passing away. Then it gives one last wailing rattle, and you can see something peek over the fence. What was that thing? Those hiding in the comments have their theories. I agree with Jose. This has Skinwalker written all over it. YouTube team Procura Sobrenatural is exploring this haunted house. When they encounter something cryptic, see if you can spot it.
Tem alguém aqui?
A dark figure appears in the next room. It's unclear if it's escaping them or watching them. Later, they hear a sharp snapping noise.
Was foi Tigo, sim?
It's hard to tell what that is. Maybe a shot from a pellet gun? Did this sound come from the dark figure we saw slinking away? I think it's quite possible, which makes me question whether that was a shadow figure or something alive. The Bel Air house in Ohio is said to be haunted by aggressive apparitions. Will YouTuber Sunny Deeds and his crew meet with one of them? The group conduct a seance in the haunted Bel Air house, and the spirits are ready to communicate with movement.
What? Her phone just moved.
My phone just legitimately.
I think someone's camera got that. Hopefully.
So that's what that noise was?
Her phone just moved. I watched it.
Shit. I can't see it. My camera's dead in front of me.
Yeah, it moved.
Then the spirits turn out the light.
What the
What?
The f***ing candle just went out.
Which one?
This one right here.
Oh, you can see the phone out there. It's smoke. It's out.
Holy
it went out. What does that mean? Blood.
Well, when I asked
Yeah, why? What's that mean?
But what does it mean? Was this spirit warning the group that it might attack? Because that's what happens next. The spirit targets the psychic, Kristen. It seems to me the group did meet with one of those aggressive spirits after all. It's probably a dangerous idea to call them up via seance in the first place. Blink and you might miss it. Shared by Redditor Dreadlock. This is one of the most compelling UAP videos captured by Homeland Security in Puerto Rico. The flying object is first seen traveling quickly over land. Keeping the object in its sights, the camera captures it as it dips down into the water, entering and exiting without seeming to lose any speed. After a time, it splits into two, each drifting away from the other. What is this thing? The experts can't even pin down what this thing is, so I don't think we'll ever know for sure. But yeah, it feels pretty extraterrestrial to me. While at Woodlawn's jail, YouTube team Blue Line Paranormal finds they are not welcome. The other two individuals in the video are Kay and Andre Salazar. Kay and Gage Mansfield were the ones filming this interaction. The team tells the spirits they're going to leave, and they respond.
Hey, we're leaving.
Whoa. Wait, the REM pod in jail.
Yeah, I hear that.
A REM pod goes off in the jail cell. They go to check it out.
Look at that. And nobody has walked through here or anything. Oh.
And it hasn't been off. It's been sitting.
Yeah, it's been sitting. It's been quiet all night.
This goes on for a long while, and the REM pod's response intensifies.
Wow.
Sounds like a police siren.
Yeah. It's getting more intense.
The spirit triggers it so much that it kills the REM pod entirely.
It's dead. It is completely dead.
With this degree of response, I'm not sure whether the spirits wanted them to leave or were protesting their departure. Either way, they sure seem to be reacting excessively. Submitted to the Chills Narrator subreddit by Burton Boy 1999, this Redditor wrote, "There's something other than coyotes, wolves, and foxes. Can you hear it? I'm not sure how well it shows up and who all can hear it. Right before I go to turn around, I got the wildest chill down my back hearing that sound. But I seriously think there's something a lot larger in these woods. Let's watch their submission and see what they're talking about." There was certainly some debate about this video in the comments. Shadow Marine 1X wrote, "I can kinda hear it, but I couldn't imagine being right there listening to all that. The whole clip sounds scary to me." Well, Roger That Hunter thinks it's a werewolf. What do you think is responsible for making these noises? Let me know in the comments. You'll need to say your prayers if you're planning to spend a night in this creepy monastery. YouTuber Franco TV braves an overnighter at the haunted place known as the Devil's Monastery, and he immediately starts feeling unsettled.
Alright, I made it back out here, and it is horrifying, and starts kind of like pushing me in towards the church, where I feel like I'm protected slightly until I start having other weird encounters inside.
This time isn't any different for Franco. Once inside, he hears something.
Look what they did. They completely took down the cross and leaned it up against the wall. Hey. I think it was upstairs.
So he heads upstairs, but then starts hearing things downstairs.
I have my stuff right there.
Franco heads back down to the room to investigate.
It legit sounds like moving. Coming from the inside of here.
At first, he doesn't hear anything more significant, but then, as he continues forward, this is heard.
Yes.
Something moved back there.
Did you hear it?
Yes.
Something did legit move, and as he continues to search the haunted place, he hears yet another spooky voice.
Check over here.
This place is paranormal gold, and in my opinion, Franco's got some guts to visit this demonic place solo. I'd either need a posse to join me, or I'd have to steer clear of this pure evil. This is a reminder never to do Randonautica solo. YouTuber Exploring with Angelo is led into the dark forest, where he finds this creepy arrangement of cryptic stuff. As he looks through it, he feels something watching him.
For some reason I thought there was going to be something behind that. They are all victims in place this. I see them all day long. My head, it hurts.
And soon he knows it.
Oh, jeez, he's right there.
Now Angelo is watching him. But he still has no clearer idea as to what this figure is doing, but the man has something to be concerned about. So Angelo knows he has to escape before it's too late.
What the f? What the f?
Is this man really wanting to end lives? Or is he just practicing his axe throwing? I think Angelo was right to flee instead of sticking around to find out. After all, it's better to be safe than sorry. Redditor Absolute Avarice is wondering if this dude is legit smacking the gin in this scary video. The clip's original source is YouTube channel, Tommy Amongst the Tombstones. Let's take a look.
This man is not afraid of ghosts. They are afraid of him.
A second clip shows him giving another ghost a beatdown. And another. And one more. In all my time analyzing Jinn videos, I've never seen someone smack or strike a ghost like this, and some believe he's legit.
This man is not afraid of ghosts. They are afraid of him.
It isn't that false. It's you or that.
Whether real or fake, I think this guy needs to send his application to the Ghostbusters. Stats. A subscriber contacted YouTuber Kolya of Seeker of Ghosts with a complaint of a poltergeist causing havoc in his apartment. Kolya heads to the place to investigate, and to spend a sleepless night. With some candles, he asks the spirit to show itself.
Если ты сейчас здесь и слышишь меня, прояви себя. Спасибо за то, что ты себя проявил.
It is here. Not long after, it makes a bigger fuss.
Офигеть, какая-то уже паранормальная тема. Смотрите, друзья.
After shaking the desk and flickering the lights, the poltergeist starts throwing things. As he tours the home, more activity occurs in the next room. And then this happens. Something is angry here, but as this is the end of the video, we won't see how that anger escalates, but if I had to guess, I'd say Kolya will get no sleep tonight. You're not going to want to open your kitchen cupboard after seeing this. TikToker Haunted TikToker shares this video of a creepy cupboard creature in Brazil.
Já avisei pra filmar. Ó, ó. Tremendo, velho. Tô sozinho em casa aqui, gente. Escutei um barulho aqui no fundo aqui quando eu vi isso aqui. lá debaixo do tanque aqui de lavar roupa. Eu peguei e fechei logo, botei aqui o...
As the guy explains, he heard a strange noise coming from this cupboard and now is holding the creature hostage with a broom. What do you think it could be? Now it's time for the big reveal.
Até que eu pensei que poderia ser um gambá, mas não é não, quer ver, ó? Viu, ó, presta atenção, lá no fundo, lá no fundo nós temos o pequenininho que tá chorando, tá aqui atrás da porta aqui, ó. Olha aí, ó. Olha aí, ó.
It's not just one creature, it's two of them. Some in the comments think they know what they are. While the eyes do look owlish to me, the one on the left looks like it has antennas. In my opinion, this is something extraterrestrial. An unidentified flying object is reputed to have landed at this abandoned church, and YouTuber Luan Mendez is here with his team to investigate. The team finds a cross lying randomly in the grass.
Olha o tamanho dessa cruz aqui, irmão. Agora que eu vi. Olha aqui o tamanho da cruz.
Ah, pega. Derrubaram ela. É.
And inside they find a burn pit that looks like someone or something camped out in here.
Passar uma noite. Ó, pra você ver, fizeram fogueira aqui, ó. Fizeram fogueira. Ó a cruz, quebraram a cruz aqui, ó.
One of the team alerts Luan to some lights outside. When he goes out to check, beams of light are spotted in the distance.
Aonde, Papa Capim? Papa Capim, apaga a sua luz, mano. Pode apagar, vamos ficar no escuro, irmão. Porque senão vai sumir. Oxi! Oi, Papa Capim, sai daí, Papa Capim! Sai daí, Papa Capim!
And then it just disappears. Are the extraterrestrials watching? It makes me wonder.
Ó, se vê alguma luz, você apaga. Apaga a luz, bater aquela lá. Apaga, apaga, apaga. Meu Deus do céu, olha lá. Olha lá. Vem, vem, vem. Vem, vem. Vem.
And it also makes me wonder why this place has been deemed so important by the extraterrestrials that they seem to be monitoring it. Is it a spiritual site for them too? Only the extraterrestrials know for sure. YouTuber Ricky Velasquez visits the most haunted house in Guadalajara, Mexico, and what he witnesses there will send chills down your spine.
Escuchen todo eso. ¿Cuál es tu nombre?
What was that noise? Listen again. These voices or whispers are deeply unsettling, and along with the visual evidence of a figure captured by the Kinect, I think this place is for sure haunted.
¡Wow! No puedo creerlo. Muchas gracias.
After a while, the figure suddenly disappears.
¿Por esto querías que viniera?
But they leave their voice behind.
¿Cómo te puedo ayudar, amigo? ¿Qué pasa?
This house in Guadalajara sure lives up to its reputation. To me, there seems like plenty of proof here that the place is the city's most haunted. The team from YouTube channel Proving Demons is proving it again by meeting the devil himself in this scary video. While in this haunted prison, they are given a demonic message that sounds more like nagging.
Children, that's sad. I'm capable of harming the devil is inside me. That's serious.
Later, they hear some noises in the dark hallways.
What's that horrible noise? That's me, sorry.
Sounds like machinery going off.
As they're listening intently to the screechy sounds they're hearing in the distance, a door opens much closer to home.
Yo, that door just opened. That door just opened. That door just opened.
Really?
Yeah. It was closed 2 seconds ago. And it just opened.
They again hear a distant scream.
What the What was that? You just hear the screaming? The guy yelling?
Although I didn't hear it myself, the next bit is plain as day.
Can you open that window again?
I literally
Stop. Oh my.
It was like that bit came rotating.
And that does actually last this long.
Yeah. Look, oh my. Close it. There is no wind in here at all.
They continue to explore and hear a door slam, but unfortunately didn't have their cameras on to catch it. But then...
That was another door and I wasn't even filming. Please. Slam another door for us. It came from over here. That. Holy.
The doors and windows are opening and shutting everywhere in this prison. My theory is that the souls of former prisoners are trying to escape, but it looks like their life sentences are continuing into the afterlife. While staying overnight at the Old City Jail in Bridgeport, Illinois, YouTuber Kalani Ghost Hunter and his wife Savannah immediately feel creepy vibes.
Was inside of here, and it heard a whistle.
Yeah, I kind of heard that too.
This jail is reputed to house a demon, and Savannah feels it touch her.
Jump. I feel like somebody kind of brushed their finger across my face, but then I thought maybe it could be a bug, and you can see me jump because it felt like a finger, did not feel like a bug, so.
As they later record a conversation with the demon, they receive a strange response on their recording device.
Oh, it literally said it touched your face.
Oh my.
Later, they ask the demon to reveal himself.
Can you show yourself to me, please? Can you walk through that door?
On the count of 3, if you're a demon.
The whole thing?
In my opinion, that certainly is a yes, and I think this demon may be reaching over from the other side, likely for dark and nefarious purposes.